Good afternoon, everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Think pollution is only a Delhi problem?
All right. So, mark your attendances first of all. Let's see how many are there. Hello, Gaurav. Ready for, I don't know how many hours will take here. 5 to 6 hours for sure. We'll be solving 99 questions. और कल जो स्नैप होने वाला है, मुझे ऐसा बहुत लग रहा है कि ये चीज़ तुम्हारे बहुत काम आने वाली है. स्पीड बेस्ड एग्जाम है स्नैप, राइट? All of us know that. And as it's a speed based exam, we'll be doing a lot of questions in a very high speed. गौरव 5 मिनट वेट करूं? 5 मिनट वेट करना is not a great idea. I just shared the link with people. This is going to change your level of preparation. तो देखो क्या है कि मैथमेटिक्स, जो क्वांट का सेक्शन है, न्यूमेरिकल एबिलिटी, लॉजिकल रीजनिंग, ये सारी चीज़ें कई बार कर चुके हैं सब लोग ना, जो कैट की तैयारी की है, जिन्होंने जेड की तैयारी करी है, बट बहुत लोगों ने ये तैयारी तो नहीं करी है, वर्बल एबिलिटी मास्टरी. So basically, the grammar-based questions of Snap are totally different. They are totally different altogether. All right, so we'll be doing that today. 99 questions, comprehensive collection of 99 practice questions tailored for Symbiosis National Aptitude Test. By the way, I have put a link in the comment. I pinned the comment through which I have given a free uh, prep kit for VA. And I'm assuming that all of you will go through it because that's just a quick revision. You can do that, right? You'll hardly take 30 minutes to 45 minutes to revise that. कल ये काम आ जाएगा. So who all are present here? चलो ठीक है. I don't think we should wait more. Let's start. Ready now? Good afternoon, Shirpani, Pratmesh. Good afternoon. So I'll give you 45 seconds each for all the questions and then I'll explain that. All right. Okay. Hello, Harshit. Good afternoon. Okay. So I'll just bring my timer to the screen. I'll make it 45 seconds. इतना ही टाइम आपको वहां भी मिलेगा, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं मिलेगा. All right. This is the first question. Figure of speech. We'll be doing 10 questions of figures of speech. Time up. Correct answer here is metaphor. So, what happens whenever there is a comparison? Listen to me very carefully. When we compare two things, okay, in comparison, there are two kinds of figures of speech. One is simile, other is metaphor. So, what exactly happens in simile? We use the word like as or like. Metaphor, we don't use any term. Okay, we don't use any term in metaphor. We just compare. So here, the question itself is the example. Hi everyone. I think I'm visible. Okay. So if it was like the camel is like the ship of the desert, the camel is like the ship of the desert. ये बोला camel is as good as ship of the desert. तो वो होता है simile, but यहाँ directly बोल दिया camel is ship of desert. For example, if I say her face is like moon, her face is like moon, तो बोलेंगे ये simile है. But if I say her face is moon, वो metaphor हो जाएगा. Directly बोल दिया गया है कि ये है, ठीक है. Personification जो बोल रहा है आर्यन, why personification is wrong? Personification is the figure of speech which is used when we attribute living like qualities, life-like qualities to inanimate objects. By the way, camel is not inanimate. Point number one. Okay, Aryan. Ship is inanimate, but we are not attributing life-like qualities to the ship. But just saying camel is the ship. It would have been personification. Okay, Aryan, listen to me carefully. If I say the ship crawled through the sea, crawled. Ship cannot crawl, right? Ship sails. If ship crawls through the ocean, through the sea, what who crawls? Insects crawl, right? So I am giving ship person-like or life-like attributes. In that case, it will be personification. The ship crawled through, the ship walked through, the ship maneuvered through. All right, Aryan, is that clear? Oxymoron is used when two contradictory words are used at once. For example, noiseless noise. The most important part in oxymoron is that two contradictory words have to be used one after the other. Okay, that is oxymoron. So I hope it is clear. Through this one question, we have learned four different figures of speech. Next one. Why then, oh brawling love, oh loving hate, contains which rhetorical device? All right, Vansh. Okay. Oh, brawling love. What is brawl when you fight? There is some kind of, argument going on. You are into some um, quarrel. You're quarreling. That will be brawl. Loving, hate. So brawling love, loving hate. They are, as I told you earlier also, it's basically oxymoron. We learned that oxymoron. Now, there are three other things. Let me explain that to you. What is paradox? What is irony? What is hyperbole? Paradox is like when a condition is given which the reason cannot we cannot find the reason, the answers we cannot find. It is a paradox. Paradox, by the way, in Hindi is called paheli. Okay, so basically we're not able to understand the reasoning. We're not able to understand why author has used that. That will be paradox. Irony is like, when you say things which you don't want to say, or the things which are kind of irony are of different types. Situational irony is there, dramatic irony is there, but we won't go in much detail, into much details because that will be totally literature class, and I can go into that. I'm a proper literature kind of person. Okay, situational irony. Majorly, it is situational irony in which we are like, okay, let's say, women are women's enemies. Do you understand that? Women are women's enemies, right? This can be an irony. So a woman is saying to a mother is telling her daughter about, that you should do something which is kind of very much patriarchal in nature. So that will be irony. Hyperbole, or you can say the PETA activists eating meat. That is an irony. Okay. So people who are talking about animal rights are themselves killing animals. That will be irony. Hyperbole, when you exaggerate things, okay, that is exaggeration. That means you say things in a much higher degree. For example, I would tear you into two pieces. So that is something which people say, a kind of a badass dialogue. It is very much common in warlike movies, in fantasy movies, right? Right. I'll tear you to pieces. I'll shred you down to paper. So that is something which is hyperbole. You cannot do that, right? You cannot just tear someone like this. That is impossible. But that is an exaggeration in which you're saying, you're trying to tell them that you are really furious about with them, right? So that is exaggeration. Is that clear, everyone? And also tell me if that's clear or not. Tell me yes, no, all that stuff. Okay, I'll wait for 10 seconds for that. Coming to next one. The waves lashed out in anger against the rocky shore. Such beautiful line. The waves lashed out in anger against the rocky shore. One more example. I think I gave you three different examples. One more. Okay, I'll give that to you as well. First, try to answer this one. So I think I've already explained what it means. So you know metaphor. What is metaphor? You know that. Simile, I have explained that. Personification, when I told you basically whenever a non-living thing is given a person like attribute, waves lashed out in anger. Now waves cannot feel anger, right? But if they're feeling it, basically they're behaving like persons. So it's personification. Pun. When you say no pun intended, when you want to when you say something which is a kind of you use a different term, different word. You do not say things directly, you use a different term which will mean the same thing some way. So we say no pun intended. Okay, that is pun. I'll give you examples also. There are examples in this. Next one. I've told you 1,000 times to clean your room. Identify the device. Yes, Prathamesh. This one is hyperbole. Absolutely. I've told you 1,000 times. Nobody tells you 1,000 times. बोलते नहीं लाखों बार कहा है कि पढ़ लिया कर. Mom says that. Nobody says it लाखों. मैंने ये गाना लाखों बार सुना हुआ है. मैंने ये फिल्म हजारों बार देखी हुई है. Now that is impossible. So basically, you are just trying to you exaggerate some feeling, exaggerate some fact. This is exaggeration. All right. Now, there are two, three more words. What do they mean? You need to understand that as well, right? Because I'll tell you why something is right, but why something is not right. Okay. So, this is litotes. This means when you try to see, there's a litotes and euphemism are almost same. There's one simple difference. In euphemism, you use, for example, he is a thin-haired man. So you don't say someone bald. Where bald is a negative, has got a negative connotation. Ganjo ganja नहीं बोल सकते आप, है ना? It's bad. It can offend people. You say he's thin-haired, right? He's thin-haired. That means he is bald. This is euphemism. In litotes, what happens? We use a term by subtly dismissing, subtly dismissing the contradictory. I'll tell you. So if you say, you must have heard this word, not bad, not bad. You say not bad, right? Not bad, isn't it? You say that, right? When do you say not bad? When something is, if something is good, you will say, oh, it's good. But if you say not bad, that means you do not want to call it bad. and also you are not very sure it's bad or not, but you kind of think it's not good either, so you say not bad, right? Understood. So litotes is at a much lower degree when compared to euphemism. And euphemism is always you try to, kind of sugarcoat things in such a way that it doesn't offend anyone. That is euphemism. In a, layman term, I would say soft, or I can say sugarcoat. Sugarcoat is also not the correct terminology over here, but just for making you understand, when you say some things which makes people feel good, that is euphemism. Okay. So, but not bad for good is not euphemism, it's litotes. It is at a lower degree. Did you understand that? Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is basically when we use the meaningless terms to express any emotions. For example, it's very common, awe. You say, awe. To look at a baby, to sometimes flirt healthily, you use this term, awe. Oh, oh, that's onomatopoeia. Vroom. When you say vroom, you must have seen in comics. If you read comics, vroom is like a word which says, okay, probably some motor is getting started. Motorcycle is racing. That is vroom. Okay, boom, boom is like some bomb explosion is there. So all these terms which have got no meanings but they express an entire action just by the sound of it. That is onomatopoeia. Did you understand? Yes or no? And how many of you did not know it earlier? Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. That is how you pronounce it. Boom, vroom, oh, oh. Did you know that earlier? Let's go to the next one. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Ears here represent what? प्रथमेश लीलोट्स नहीं है लाइटोट्स है टी. Friends, Romans, countrymen. I think that was said by Shakespeare in one of his plays. Lend me your ears. Abhijana, Avinash, explain कर तो दिया भाई. I talked about it for 2 minutes. Okay. So, friends, friends, Romans, and countrymen, lend me your ears. Ear represents what? All right. Who will tell me that? I'll tell you. Um, so, whenever there is a word which represents an action, something that is very important, that is basically metonymy. Okay, metonymy. So, ears here represent attention. Do you understand that? So when I say, I have, you have my ears. So instead of saying you have my attention, I would say all ears. Heard that? We say that almost every day. All ears. I'm all ears. I'm all ears. So basically, I'm using metonymy over here. Okay. I'm not saying you have all my attention. I just say all ears. So ears here are metonymy, which are representing an emotion, a feeling, that is attention in this case. So metonymy is used whenever you use a different term to represent some kind of emotion or expression. Understood? Yes or no? And how many of you got to know it today only? Okay. Now, did you get that? देखो यहाँ पे जो भी मैंने ऑप्शन दिए हुए हैं, जो भी ऑप्शन दिए हुए हैं, सारे के सारे ऑप्शन काफी क्लोज हैं फिगर्स ऑफ स्पीच. इसको हम बोलते हैं सेनेक्डोके. सेनेक्डोके, सानेक्डोच नहीं बोलते, सेनेक्डोके. Synecdoche is also, you can confuse between metonymy and synecdoche. Synecdoche is something in which we, for example, let's get on the wheels. Yeah, Prathamesh, yes. You must have said, get on the wheels. What does that mean? Get on the wheels का मतलब क्या हुआ? Get on the wheels मतलब कि चलो कार चलाना शुरू कर देते हैं. Let's, drive the vehicle, drive the car, ride the car. So for car we use wheels, don't we? Isn't it? We use that, right? Or I say I earn my bread. So wheels are used for cars. Bread is used for livelihood. Understood? अब अंतर क्या है मेटोनिमी और synecdoche में? In metonymy, we use a term for an expression or an emotion. Understood? Okay, so we use a different term for some expression or emotion, that is metonymy, while synecdoche is when we use a term, sometimes a phrase, to for an object, for a common noun, for an abstract noun. Or it's not expression or emotion. Like livelihood. Livelihood is not an expression, not an emotion, right? So get on the wheels, cars. On my bread, that is livelihood, that is synecdoche. So there's a very thin line between metonymy and synecdoche, and I want you to tell me whether you have got the distinction clear in your mind, right? Got it, guys? Any more example? Uh, the sales, the sales were visible on the horizon. Now sales are visible. Sales are synecdoche for ships. Is that clear? We say sales. We don't say ship. Cool. So you must have, all of you must, because with the examples, why I'm giving you these examples are very much relevant because all of you have gone through these examples. Sometimes you use it also in a daily conversation, and but all of you must have read it, heard it in a movie, in a book, or wherever, right? So synecdoche, metonymy is pretty clear. Coming to apostrophe. Apostrophe, people can confuse apostrophe with personification. While personification is giving the lifelike attributes to non living things, apostrophe is addressing the non living things, addressing them. So basically, we consider them non living only, but we talk to them as if they are living. For example, oh, death, come to me slowly. Oh, death. Now, death is a non living thing. That death is basically an abstract noun. So I'm addressing death, just like I'll address some person. There is apostrophe. Is that clear? This is not personification. बात समझ में आई कि नहीं आई? सब लोग बताओ मेरे को फटाफट. I can't see your faces because in this class, looking at faces is very important. All of you understood that. I'm not saying death is doing something here. If death was doing something, it was personification. Death is death. Death is what it means. There is no change of meaning. The only thing is that I am addressing death like I'll address a human. Oh, death. Or, oh, God. Now, God is not a living thing, right? Oh, God. We say it every day. Oh God, hey Bhagwan in Hindi, right? That is apostrophe. Clear? Alliteration. Alliteration is a figure of speech. It's one of my favorite when we use the same letter in quick continuation to make some kind of sensory impact. Okay, you hear something, you get an impact. For example, a very famous example is Dunkin' Donuts. Alliteration is used in branding. DD, Dunkin' Donuts. Coca Cola. सोचा है कभी ये बात तुम लोगों ने शायद ही सोची होगी that alliteration is widely used in advertising world. If you go to Mica, Mudra Institute of Communication and Advertising, you probably will go through this. That alliteration has been widely used in the world of advertising. Dunkin' Donuts, Coca-Cola, anything else? Nothing comes to mind, right? But these are this is alliteration. Is that clear? Prathamesh says he was talking with his car as if car was talking back like a person. What would be used here? Apostrophe. Prathamesh, nothing is used here. The way you have chosen the words, they are not even literary words. Right. He was talking with his car. He was like, hey, hey, sweetie. Like, you must have seen the movies. Hey, car. Hey, mean machine. So that is apostrophe. Okay. When the car does something, the car told me it cannot run at a high speed. That is personification. Clear? All of you got that? Now, before we go further, tell me who all are present here. Let's mark the attendance. Avinash, Gaurav, Prathamesh, Vansh. Okay, I think you four are there. Cool. Let's go to the next one. Life is a roller coaster. This direct comparison with like or as is what? Time starts here. This one is simple, right? There is no like or as. We'll go for metaphor. Simile, personification, hyperbole. We understood it all. So I think that will be all right. All of you got that? This one was easy. Cool. Next one. Ticking clock echoed in the silent hallway. Identify the sound-based device. Onomatopoeia? Yes, that's right. Okay. Because it talks about these, whenever we have a sound-based device, it's basically onomatopoeia. Now, but the very same time, do you know the meaning of assonance, consonance? Alliteration is what I told you already. Assonance and consonance, very beautiful sounds, figures of speech. So what happens in assonance? Um, when there is a sentence or a phrase in which similar vowel sounds are produced for a rhythmic effect, just like a song. I'll tell you. Go slow. Go slow. What happened? Sounds like a song, right? Isn't it? Go slow. Okay. So what exactly happened over here? That the sound O is kind of it comes twice. So there's assonance, right? Understood. But in consonants, what happens? That similar sounding structure of words is used. For example, um, similar sounding structure. Uh, uh, um, देखो यहाँ पे ना एक चीज है. People can get confused between consonants and alliteration. Well, alliteration is all about using. See, alliteration is same letter starts a group of words. Okay, that is alliteration. Consonants is not like it should start. It can be in between also, right? For example, the mammals, the mammoths. Okay, the mammals called mammoths. The mammals called mammoths. Mammoth is a mammal. Was a mammal. It's extinct now. Is my screen visible? Yeah. So mammals. So here, what is happening? The sound ma is coming twice. Mammals, mammals. This is consonants. So it is not necessary in a consonance that the first letter should be same. It is necessary in alliteration. That's a trait of alliteration, not of consonants. In consonants, the sound should be same. The sound can be at the start, can be in the middle, can be in the end. Did you understand that, all of you? So assonance is about vowel sounds. Consonance is about sounds in general, which can be produced by similar letters or similar kind of uh, um, mid letters or the last end letters. Understood? All right. Also, consonants uses consonants. It doesn't use vowels. That is the most important part. Dog dug deep. Dog dug deep. Dog dug deep. So it's alliteration as well as consonants. Both, right? Okay. Now, the next one. Deep down, you are really shallow. Deep down, you are really shallow. तुम्हारे बहुत अंदर, बहुत गहराई में एक क्या है? Shallowness है. Wow. Deep down, you are shallow. That's a paradox, right? That's a paradox. In oxymoron, hey Somik, you're also there. In oxymoron, we use two contradictory words, one after the other. Irony, lightouts, I have explained to you earlier as well. Explain paradox also, but this is kind of a very beautiful, very stylish way of representing a paradox, right? Deep down, you are shallow. अंदर से तुम बहुत बाहरी आदमी हो. Yes, Atharv. It will be yes, the oxymoron will be used only when they are too close, when they are together. Prathamesh, options are close. Yeah. So what I have made here, even for a simple thing, I have made the options very close. I don't think Snap is gonna do that. Snap के options बहुत दूर दूर होते हैं. ये जिसने कर लिया कल तो ठीक ही करेगा. Next. He was passed away to his heavenly abode. This mild expression for a harsh fact is what? Namaskar. Okay. So I think all of you know that there is euphemism, sugar coating. I already explained that. It's not hyperbole. Nothing has been exaggerated, not an irony, not a synecdoche also. Synecdoche is like, you use a word to represent the entire thing. Wheels for car, hands for laborers, sails for ships, etc. Okay, next one. A pilot has a fear of heights. This situational contradiction is known as what? Situational contradiction is known as what? I think I discussed that also, right? The options are close, but I think I've explained you the terminology beforehand. Um, so I think you'll be able to kind of do it correct. It's irony for sure. Now, sarcasm is also very close. In sarcasm also we use irony, but what is the motive of using irony in sarcasm? The motive is contempt, all right, insult. That is sarcasm. So sarcasm, we do sarcasm in front of people whom we want to, kind of feel bad about it. Irony, we don't do it for, the motive is not contempt or insult. The motive is basically, to represent to a very contradictory, a very kind of weird thing. So pilot, the work of pilot is to fly at greater heights, and he has fear of heights. That is an irony. Understood? So sarcasm has got a motive to insult, to produce contempt, to tease someone, like Prathamesh said. It's got a negative connotation. Irony is not always negative. Yes, Abhi, absolutely. Metaphor and pun we already discussed. The last one, the last question of figure of speech. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Identify figure of speech used by Shakespeare. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Oxymoron. Absolutely. Oxymoron. So oxymoron because sweet sorrow. Both these things have got different connotations, different meanings. They're contradictory words. We'll go for oxymoron, not for paradox, metonymy, or simile. We have already covered paradox, metonymy, and simile. No need of doing it again. By the way, in the pinned comment, I have kind of put together 4 PDFs. We should be discussing all the figures of speech, idioms, phrases, etc. Okay, so that is kind of this video, and those PDFs will serve as the final quick revision tools. Now, let's go to the next part, that is vocabulary. It should not be directly, opposite. Antonyms, Rohini, Prathamesh. Two words which represent different things, different kind of feelings. That's also oxymoron, right? A third of parts of speech, yes, by different questions, like, there'll be questions in which I'll be covering parts of speech. Okay, so here, these are synonyms. Now we had 11 questions on figures of speech. Now we'll be having 11 questions on synonyms. Avinash, is the audio low? Abate. अभी बिल्कुल होता है तो बताओ कौन सा होगा. All right. So abate is a word, when something becomes less intense, less intense in degree, in feeling, that is abate. Like its opposite is to improve. Getting it? Its antonym is improve, increase something, or intensify something. That is the antonym. So while discussing all these questions, it's not just that you have to just tell the answer and get away with it. No, I'll be explaining why other options are wrong and what are the exact meanings and different usage. And that is why this session is important. So abate is like making something less intense. Increase is obviously an antonym. Subside, subsidy, we kind of decrease something. Subside is a synonym. Exaggerate, no. Confirm, no. So we'll go for subside. All right. Is that clear? Hey, Vihang, you know this word by abatement of pollution. Okay. Great. Now coming the next one. Identify the antonym of the word ephemeral. Ephemeral. All right, that's good. What is eternal, by the way? Eternal, that is perpetual. It never ends, right? It's for always. It stays forever and ever and ever. That is eternal. Just the opposite of it is ephemeral. Okay, which is for a very short duration. Short lived is the correct answer. Why transient? Transient is something, an intermediary stage of a process. That is transient. When there is no state, we don't know whether it is ending, whether it is starting, whether it is continuous, is transient. Like you must have heard the word called trance. Trance comes from transcendence, transient. So it is intermediate stage. Transient is wrong. Eternal, तो इसका exact opposite है. Vague, something is not clear. No, so that is an out of context altogether. Short lived is the answer. By the way, um, I will I'll tell you a word. What is the word called? Let me think about it. I do not remember the word. There is a word which talks about, when something is very short-lived. बहुत कम देर के लिए. Ephemeral is the word, right? There's one more word which has got more poetic inclination. What is it called? A very poetic word. I don't remember. In the back of my mind, the moment I get it, I'll tell you. Um, Bubbles, like soap bubbles. Soap bubbles are like what? Bubbles, they just burst in a very quick duration. It's ephemeral, but there is a word which is more intense and it is highly poetic. What do you call it? Anyone? Anybody? Do you have that word in back of your mind? नहीं याद आ रहा मेरे को. Short lived is ephemeral is the word. There's one more word. So, anyways, when it comes to my mind, I'll tell you. Let's go to the next word. Pragmatic. I think all of you know that, right? Yes, Prathamesh. I love you, man, for that. Evanescent. Wait, I'll give you more time. The word is evanescent. It is used for like the bubbles in the evanescence of nature. Even I have used that word in one of my poems when I was a kid. देखो मैं खुद ही वो है ना back of mind है कि अभी सो के उठा हूँ, probably that is the reason, but evanescent is the word which has got a more poetic tone, and it is used for like which are really very short like bubbles, they just burst. So evanescence of bubbles, that is how I used it. Well done, Prathamesh. Okay, this question. Pragmatic, I think all of you know that. Pragmatic is practical. There's no need of kind of discussing it more. Everybody use it every time. I use it every day almost. Pragmatic approach and all that stuff, right? The next one. अच्छा जो प्रथमेश ने बताया evanescent, did all of you know that word? So throw some likes at least for Prathamesh, if not for me. I'm really very impressed with you, Prathamesh. I was not expecting that anybody will tell me that word, evanescent. Hmm? Okay, here we go. Find the antonym of meticulous. When I say he has got a very meticulous planning. So even if you don't know see, sometimes it happens you don't know the words, but you have heard this word somewhere, right? Uh, Very meticulous planning was there. So meticulous planning is like, very detailed kind of planning. isn't it? Very careful kind of planning, detailed, careful, precise planning. All these are synonymous. Negligent is the antonym. Understood? So even if you don't know the meaning of the word, you will at least know because it's been used, right? Benevolent can nearly opposite. Benevolent. नेटफ्लिक्स पे ये हमेशा देखते होगे ना ये वाले हॉरर मूवीज में malevolent spirit right. So benevolent is kind, something that has got a good meaning, something that has got a good intention, that is benevolent, kind. Uska ulta malevolent. Kind is a synonym, generous is synonym, altruistic. Who is altruistic? In Hindi we call it paropkari. Heard that word? परोपकारी. कितने दिन बाद हिंदी लिख रहा हूँ मैं, बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है मेरे को. परोपकारी, दूसरों पर उपकार करना, ऑल्ट्रुइस्टिक, राइट. मैलेवोलेंट इज मेलेवोलेंट स्पिरिट. नेटफ्लिक्स के हर हॉरर मूवी में, 90% हॉरर मूवी में ये वर्ड यूज किया हुआ है उसके डिस्क्रिप्शन में, इजंट इट? A couple in a faraway island went for a honeymoon or an outing or whatever, and beneath the beautiful surface and beautiful sunsets light a malevolent entity. Something like that, right? That is, uh, they discover a more malevolent intentions of their neighbors, all that stuff, right? So Netflix has been using this word every time, malevolent. Coming to next one, enigmatic. Within the depth of the lake light a malevolent shadow. Yes, Shivani. Enigmatic, enigma. It's like mysterious, something which cannot be understood easily, right? Something that can't be understood easily. So simple is easy, obvious easy, direct easy. The answer is mysterious. All of you must have got that. ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन आते हैं इसमें, स्नैप में. एंटोनिम ऑफ नरीर, ये कौन बताएगा मेरे को? ये ऐसा वर्ड है जिसको पता है उसी को पता है, जिसको नहीं पता उसे नहीं पता है. मतलब इसमें कोई ऐसा, देयर इज नो वे ऑफ डिराइविंग द कॉन्टेक्स्ट फ्रॉम समवेयर. If you know this, you know this. Otherwise, you don't. You don't. Nadir is the lowest point of something. Absolutely. The lowest point is nadir. So the highest point is zenith. It's zenith. Okay. Antonym बताना था अविनाश. और अगर ना भी पता हो तो ऑप्शन देख के मालूम पड़ जाएगा. हाँ, कि लोवेस्ट पॉइंट, बेस, फाउंडेशन सब एक ही ऐसे जिनत ही नहीं है तो वही होगा. दैट इज ऑल्सो वे. So probably, the options are changed. Like in the previous case, figure of speech, my options were very close, right? Yeah, Prajwal, obviously, options can be eliminated. Probably if I change two options like that, you might be in difficulty. Anyways, let's go to the next one. Synonym of mitigate. Here, the options are not pretty obvious. Worsen, aggravate, intensify, alleviate. Because intensification is not always positive, it can be negative also. Worsen is negative. So basically, here you might find a problem, some problem, right? Yeah, mitigate is making something less severe. It's not less severe, it's making something less severe. Okay, so by an action, by some action, we make something less severe, same as alleviate. All right, we'll go for alleviate here. Next, alleviate, yeah. Antonym of placid. देख के मालूम पड़ जाएगा, ऑप्शंस देख के मालूम पड़ जाएगा, बट there's a movie called Lake Placid. देखा है या सुना होगा Lake Placid? It was in a crocodile. So the crocodile, which you know, was killing humans. Lake Placid. So basically a peaceful lake, but beneath that lake there was a crocodile. So calm, serene, quiet. Even if you don't know the meaning, options are pretty obvious. Turbulent. When the turbulent is used for oceans, waves. When on the surface, the waves are like they move a lot. It is turbulent. Okay. All of you got that? Next one. Synonym of the word candid. Lake Placid, yes. Crocodile wala. Candid. He's a candid speaker. He's a candid man. Such a candid speech. Such a candid speech. So speech, deceptive, reserved, deceptive or reserved, ठीक है, चारों अलग हैं, but connotations are there. Like formal has got a neutral connotation. Frank is a positive connotation. Deceptive is a negative connotation. Reserved is again neutral connotation. Candid is basically frank. Frank. Very candid person, very candid man, very candid speech. It was frank, just like I think I'm a candid teacher, right? So that is frank. Obsolete. Antonym of obsolete. What is obsolete? Something that has got no function left. It's useless now. That is obsolete. We can say so ancient, outdated. These two will be obsolete, obviously, right? Ancient, outdated can be eliminated. Antiquated, antique, old again. Contemporary is something which is still relevant, still, for example, Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita. It is contemporary literature. It's still relevant. Obsolete is something that is not useful anyway. Any, you know, today, right? That is obsolete. All of you got that? Yes. Next one. To bell the cat. The meaning of to bell the cat. Now we have gone to idioms. Guys, we have done 11 questions in figures of speech, 11 questions in antonyms and synonyms. Now we are on idioms and phrases. Look at that. Isn't this a very quick revision? और यही सब स्नैप में आए भी हैं पिछले कुछ सालों में और जो आ सकते हैं मैंने यहाँ डाल दिए. To bell the cat is like, when you perform some risky task, some dangerous task, so that the entire group is benefited. Taming a beast, no. Wearing a collar, no. To be noisy, no. To take lead in danger. What is wearing a collar? Anyone? What is the meaning of wearing a collar? To wear a collar is like there. It has multiple meanings. Wear a collar is basically dressing also, that you choose the kind of matching collar, tie, something like that. Or also, it's an act of catching someone by the collar. So here, it will be to take lead in danger because that is how you will benefit the entire group. So to bell the cat is always an act of bravery, okay? And it is done in dangerous situations. All right, Avinash, now it's clear. No, Prathamesh, not boast. To bell the cat is like when you there's an act of bravery. You do something that is dangerous, and you do it for the benefit of the entire group. Okay, that is to take lead in danger. All right. Next one, piece of cake. This one is easy. Something delicious, a very easy task, part of a whole. I use this term in mathematics to explain fractions. Do you remember that? Fraction is a part of the whole. Okay, Prathamesh. This one is easy. It's a piece of cake. A very easy task. अब यहाँ पे कुछ explain करने की जरूरत है नहीं. Idioms and phrases have got a meaning. There's a meaning. Piece of cake. Now, why it is easy? I'll just, मैं बोलूँ रट लो तो रटना ठीक नहीं है. I'll give you some clues to remember this always. Piece of cake is like, it's very easy to eat a piece of cake. So it's an easy task. That is how you will always remember. It's easy to eat a piece of cake. It's soft, right? So this easy is what we need to remember. At this time, all of you know it because it's a kind of very, I would say, standard sixth or seventh. But then this is how you can remember it. Okay, in case someone doesn't know. To kick the bucket. This is a good phrase. Not all of you will be knowing it. To kick a bucket is a euphemism for to fail, to die, to get angry, to play football. यहाँ पे तुम्हें options कोई काम नहीं आएंगे. आएंगे क्या? नहीं आएंगे. Antonyms synonyms में आ जाते हैं. यहाँ पे तो नहीं आएंगे. I'm pretty sure about that. Cake walk, yes, and to kick the bucket. What does it mean? Kick the bucket is basically represents death, to die. It's not to fail, to get angry, to play football, to play football. No, it's to die. Dying is kicking the bucket. Okay, he kicked the bucket last year, last week, last month. All right, and it's euphemism. That's also important. So it's a kind of connection between what we were doing in the first chapter of this class, that was figures of speech, and now it is connected to the idioms and phrases at the same time. All right, next one. Under the weather means what? And I use this term, I have used this term in classes also. If someone remembers me using it, I have used this term. I am under the weather, so I could not take the class. Those who did not know might be knowing it now because I gave you the exact example. All right, Prathamesh. Under the weather. Exposed to rain, very depressed, highly energetic. It's slightly unwell. So when I was unwell, I was under the weather for the last few days. That is why I could not take the class. I have said that. Anybody remembers that? Me using that term? People who are connected with me for last more than 6 months, they might be knowing it. मैं term हमेशा use करता हूँ. Very common. What does to spill the beans imply? No, Prajwal? Okay. To spill the beans, to waste food, to reveal a secret, to cook a meal, to be clumsy. To reveal a secret. Spill the beans and to reveal a secret, there is a kind of a condition in that. When you reveal a secret prematurely, like earlier than it is required, because sometimes it happens that you have to reveal things, but it takes its own sweet time. But you do it prematurely, that means it is spilling the beans. Clear? Beans are like inside a pod. You must see, like for example, green peas. They are beans only, right? So it's covered. You uncover it. That means the secret is revealed. Getting it? So this is how you can kind of remember it always. To reveal a secret, you uncover the beans. ग्रीन पी सबने मटर छीला होगा, छिले मटर, है ना, तो पता ही होगा. ओके. Burn the midnight oil, wasting resources, working late into night, cooking late, suffering from insomnia. Burn the midnight oil. He burned the midnight oil. और पापा, मम्मी, ये सब लोग बहुत ही कॉमनली सबने एक कहानी सुनी होगी कि मैं रात में दिया जला के सोता था, सोता नहीं था, पढ़ता था, क्योंकि लाइट नहीं थी. सुना है ये? तो बर्न द मिडनाइट ऑयल एक ऐसा है, ये फ्रेज ऐसा है जो सिर्फ इंडिया ही नहीं, पूरे वर्ल्ड में फेमस है, क्योंकि एक्चुअली लाइट नहीं हुआ करती थी. वो लोग झूठ नहीं बोलते. वो रियलिटी में लाइट नहीं हुआ करती थी, अनलेस योर पेरेंट्स वर बॉर्न इन दिल्ली, मुंबई. ओके. बट मेजरली लाइट नहीं हुआ करती थी, तो उन्हें मिडनाइट ऑयल जलाना पड़ता था. एंड दिस टर्म इज नॉट इंडियन. This phrase, it's also has got a European and American um, culture attached to it, because there also, but there's no electricity, people were burning midnight oil to read, right? Read or working late. So working late into the night is the correct answer. Correct choice over here. Is that clear? So earlier I thought that everybody says the same thing, and lot of movies in which this has been used as a joke. कि पापा आपने तो midnight oil ही जलाया होगा, आप तो दिए में ही पड़े होंगे. So I thought that why are they saying it? Probably parents are lying. All parents are lying. But then as I grew up, I realized that no, they are not lying. That was a reality. Okay. हाँ, बट आज भी अब क्या है कि मिडनाइट ऑयल अब नहीं है, अब हमारे पास इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है. बट आज भी इफ समवन वर्क्स लेट इनटू द नाइट, द फ्रेज इज स्टिल यूज्ड, बर्निंग द मिडनाइट ऑयल. हाँ, गौरव किया है ना? All of you got that. So midnight oil, because it has become, it is now has become a kind of a phrase of culture. So even if the electricity is there, we still use it. That is how idioms were made. लोकोक्तियां, मुहावरे. ठीक है ना? अब मिडनाइट ऑयल जला के शायद ही कोई पढ़ता हो, कुछ गाँव में होगा, but still we use this term. Is that clear, guys? That is what idioms actually mean. So it has seeped into the culture. It can never be removed. Yes or no? Tell me in the comments. कुछ तो बोलो, हाँ ना? Is that right? बीट अराउंड द बुश, ये मेरी जिंदगी का पहला मुहावरा था जो मैंने सीखा था बचपन में. मुझे याद है अभी भी. आई थिंक आई वॉज इन स्टैंडर्ड 2 or 3. Let me recall it. I was in standard third. This is the first idiom that I came across. Beat around the bush. No, the first proverb which I came across: a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. वो पहला proverb था, और better than two in the bush से मुझे beat around the bush idiom याद हो गया था. Proverb, you know what is a proverb? लोकोक्तियाँ. A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. तुम बड़ा बुश में बर्ड है सोच के बड़ा खुश था बचपन में, तो मैं, इसलिए मुझे याद हो गया हमेशा के लिए. बीट अराउंड द बुश. ना इट्स लाइक एंड आई व्हाई आई नो दिस, बिकॉज माय डैड एक्सप्लेन दिस टू मी कि बीटिंग अराउंड द बुश का मतलब. मैंने पूछा, पापा क्या मतलब है इस बात, झाड़ी के आसपास वैसे पत्थर से मारना, लाठी से मारना, इसका मतलब क्या है? तो उन्होंने बोला, देखो, होता क्या है कि मान लो तुम्हारे गार्डन में जो पौधे उगे हैं, जो फेंसिंग है, वहां पे एक छिपकली घुस गई, एक सांप घुस गया मान लो. तुम क्या करोगे? मैं सांप को भगाने की कोशिश करूंगा. कैसे? मैं सांप को लाठी से यूं कर दूंगा. तब हमारे लोग ये नहीं करते. लोग क्या करते हैं, सांप के आसपास ऐसे पत्तों पे मारते रहते हैं, डरते भी हैं, इस कारण से भी करते हैं. तो इसी को हम बोलेंगे बीटिंग अराउंड द बुश. दैट इज हाउ ही मेड मी अंडरस्टैंड. So it's avoiding the main point, right? It's not gardening, it's not hunting, it's not talking loudly, it's avoiding the main point. So instead of, even if snake is visible to you, you won't push the snake because you're somehow scared. That was just an example of snake. There are multiple things like that. So just avoid the main point, beat around it. So that is how I could never forget it. Is that clear? All of you? And did you also learn this idiom by this example? किसी टीचर ने या किसी पेरेंट ने या किसी ने बताया तुम्हें ऐसा बचपन में किसी को? Yeah, कैंडल नाइट एक्सपेंसिव हो गया है ये अगर कैंडल लाइटर बोलते यस प्रथमेश कुछ बोलो भाई यू गाइस दोनों इंटरैक्ट बीटिंग अराउंड द बुश ओके now crying wolf implies being brave raising false alarms mourning a loss acting animalistic ओके प्रथमेश बुक्स में पढ़ा था crying wolf there was a story also and if you remember that story you will know the meaning do you remember the story of a shepherd there was a shepherd and he always raised false alarms that oh a wolf is approaching save my sheep so all the villagers came to him but he was just raising false alarms there was no one he was just trying to draw attention so it happened twice or thrice and after that people are like okay he always raises false alarms let him be so one day the real wolf came and there's no one to save right so all his sheep were killed do you remember that story वो स्टोरी से एकदम से याद आ जाएगा रेजिंग फॉल्स अलार्म्स ओके गौरव हॉलीडे होमवर्क दिया था 100 idioms या अभी do you remember that story all of you so crying wolf implies being brave no mourning a loss no acting in no so raising false alarms भेड़िया आया अभी क्या हो गया पी हो गए तो how does it matter next hit the nail on the head दोनों पढ़े हिंदी इंग्लिश yes hit the nail on the head fixing a mistake saying exactly right thing being aggressive working as carpenter फिर से बी होगी okay hitting the nail on the head that means exactly on the right spot even if you don't know the meaning of it you might be getting the context somehow the tone of it hit the nail on the head that means on the exactly in the right spot so saying exactly right thing is what you are doing over here hit the nail on the head option D is fun yes working as carpenter okay next let the cat out of the bag oh your teaching is quite addictive sir taken once very hard to get accustomed to someone else thanks so I have heard love is the drug but in this case knowledge is the drug huh? Let the cat out of the bag. I think all of you understand this just by just by looking at the context. Out of the bag, the cat comes away, and you don't want the cat to come out of the bag. So let us understand it this way. There's a bag with you, and in the bag you're hidden a cat. So obviously you don't want cat to the cat to come out of it. No, Prathamesh, they're not same. They're not slightly totally different. Spilling the beans is done intentionally. Okay, Prathamesh. Cat out of the bag is accidental. It's accidentally revealing secret. That's what I was explaining. Explaining that um, you if you put a cat inside the bag, you don't want it to come out when you are in the public, right? Because you're trying to hide it. And cat itself is a living thing. Probably it will accidentally come out. But spilling a bean is not a living thing. It cannot just spill itself. You will be spilling it, right? So basically, in spilling the beans, it's you who are doing the mistake. In letting the cat out of the bag, you don't know who's doing the mistake. It is just accidental. Is that clear? Being cares, being freeing someone, losing a bet is not the correct sequence. Probably all are be due to some kind of hygiene error, but then learning is still there. Coming to bite the bullet, endure something painful, eating metal, being a soldier, dying in war. Bite the bullet. He bit the bullet. This time it's not B, huh? Bite the bullet, endure something painful, being a soldier, eating metal, dying in war. Endure something painful. I bit the bullet when I did that. So, no? So yeah, when you endure something really painful, that is biting the bullet. Because biting bullet is actually really painful, right? I'm pretty sure nobody has bitten a bullet in reality, but you must have seen a bullet that is metallic. If you try to bite it, you might lose teeth, right? So it's very painful. And that is how you can kind of always remember it. Coming to the next one. Okay, now we have done 11 questions on idioms. You know what have you done? You have done 33 questions just like that. How much time have you taken? Wow, it's just 1 hour and 15 minutes. 11 questions of figures of speech, 11 of antonyms and synonyms, 11 of idioms. Now it's 11 question of fill in the blanks in which we'll be using grammar. All right. The dash of the witness was so convincing the jury believed him. I'm starting it. Okay. This is simple, right? Testimony. Stature of the witness, statue. A witness always gives it a testimony. What is testimony? When you uh, speak or write something, speak or write something which um, explains the facts or the process or the entire walkthrough. That is what testimony means. And for a witness, testimony is a kind of a technical word which is used in law. So witnesses always give the testimony. They don't give anything else. All right. Testimony is correct here. Pratmesh, absolutely true. Overthinking से हो जाता है. She was so dashed that she could not be fooled easily. Wow. I think you can look at the options and try to eliminate them in this case. Do you know the meaning of, you know the meaning of innocent for sure? Gullible, in some cases, you might be knowing. Naive. So, all of you might be knowing the meaning of innocent. Some of you might be knowing the meaning of naive. Some will be knowing the meaning of gullible. Astute, very few will be knowing the meaning of astute, right? I'm pretty sure about that. Those who know will get the answer clearly. You know what is gullible? Someone who trusts things easily. That is gullible. And gullible is not a very great term. बहुत पॉजिटिव बात नहीं है. तुम बोल दो मैं ना लोगों पर बड़ा भरोसा करता हूँ, मैं बड़ा गलिबल हूँ, तो इसका मतलब तुम अपने लिए खराब बात बोल रही हो. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट? सो व्हेन यू से आई ट्रस्ट पीपल इजीली and I am gullible, these two are two different things. Gullible is normally used as a kind of a sarcasm. Okay, he's really gullible. So we are kind of, kind of feel that, okay, this guy is so stupid that he trusts people easily. Okay, so trusting someone easily can have two interpretations. One is that person trusts, he's a good person, that's why he trusts. Other is he is probably stupid, that is why he trusts, right? So gullible is that. Naive, जो बहुत ही बच्चा सा है, बचकाना है. And astute is someone who is shrewd. Or let someone who's very clever, that is astute, will go for B. She's so astute that she could not be fooled easily. Prathamesh, you got it, huh? Next, the dash of situation was evident to everyone. What? Knife can mean wet around the ears? No, Prajwal. Knife is someone who is not experienced. Normally, kids or even if grown-up adults who have not traveled much, not talked to much people, they are naive. They are kind of innocent. They do not know things and they trust people easily because they don't have enough experience, right? Those guys are naive. So gravity of situation, that means the depth of situation, the importance. Here, gravity is basically the importance of situation. Levity is, an act of using words that are majorly disrespectful, or they can be making fun of others, sarcastic. That is levity. Height, weight, So weight of situation is basically again importance. But for a situation, we use the more technical correct term is gravity, not weight. Okay. Um, we'll go for gravity. Because gravity denotes the force, and weight is a kind of very scientific, has got a very scientific meaning. Right? While gravity has got scientific as well as a very colloquial meaning, it has also got a very literary meaning. The gravity, it can be attraction, it can be importance. Okay, cool. So gravity is not just scientific; it is used in poetic terms as well. While weight is majorly used in scientific and mathematical term, right? But you know what? Language is language. There are some poets who can use science in terms of in poetry, in poems, poets actually kind of manipulate the words, but majorly speaking, weight will be used in scientific and mathematical ways, right? Is that clear? But gravity can be used in poetic terms as well, literary terms as well. So go for gravity, not weight. Is that clear? Yes or no? Tell me. Next. He decided to dash his position after the scandal. Maintain, relinquish, uphold, reinforce. See, after the scandal, now you know what? All these words in some context can be filled here. Maintain, relinquish, uphold, reinforce, सारी चीजें किसी न किसी context में यहाँ पे सही हो सकती हैं. But here, if you look at this context is after this scandal. So what normally comes to your mind? The scandal has happened. So what will a person do? He will try to resign from the position, right? नॉर्मली. अब वो खराब आदमी है तो अलग बात है, बोले नहीं ठीक है स्कैंडल हो गया मैं तो रखूंगा इस पोजीशन को. दैट इज डिफरेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑल टू, बट इन नॉर्मल जनरल कॉन्टेक्स्ट व्हाट विल समवन डू? He or she will resign, right? Isn't it? Other thing is to uphold a position which looks kind of really correct to a lot of, might be looking correct to a lot of people. Upholding a position is done against something bad. All right. So something bad is happening, you're upholding your defenses, your guards. Here, the scandal has happened. So basically, bad has already happened. Probably you are also part of it, right? Right. So, so upholding something, you uphold something to defend something. Here, you're not defending anything. A scandal has happened. It's out in the out in the open. So relinquish, because the most important thing to do here is that you, well, voluntarily अपने आप स्वयं से, मतलब voluntary is like you do it on your own. You will voluntarily cease to keep or claim that position. So relinquishing is the most plausible, most practical choice we'll go for. relinquish. Clear? So this is the kind of question in which everything looks correct, but we have to go for the most ethical, most general, most universal word. Is that clear? हाँ गौरव, वो अलग बात है अब ठीक है, चलो let's go to next one. The weather was dash, making it perfect for a picnic. Coldplay concerts can, yeah. Gloomy is sad. Harsh, Clement. Clement is something that is mild, a mild kind of weather that is clement. Mild, pleasant, etc. Inclement उसी का उल्टा हो जाएगा. We'll go for clement. Okay. Here need to know the meaning of the word. All right. By the way, I don't think people go to picnics anymore. These days, people are so much into phones and social network that they don't go for picnic. I remember as a kid going for picnic a lot of times, but now I don't think I've gone to picnic from quite a long time now. Right? Okay. Now, coming to the next one. Her dash. Now, double fillers. Here we have double fillers. So in Snap, you always also get questions which have got two fill in the blanks. Like in this case, I'll start the timer now. 45 seconds. Do that. And guys, throw some likes. I'm not seeing any likes over here. Come on, throw some likes. Those are important to keep me motivated. Right, Gaurav. See, if I in this case, you can use all the options one by one. Her rude behavior. If I choose rude, will please everyone. Rude behavior never pleases anyone, right? So A is practically wrong. Her erratic behavior, erratic, that was, kind of, you cannot predict her behavior. It was full of it was erratic. It will surprise people. Yeah, B looks correct to me. I'll put a question mark. Let's see if we have got a better option. Her polite behavior annoyed everyone. Polite behavior doesn't annoy people. Her calm behavior agitated. No. So B is the most plausible choice over here. Is that clear? We can have better options than B also, but in the given options, B is the most plausible choice. Is that clear, everyone? All of you have got it correct, I think. Bhaiya ji, hi. New people here. Next one. The dash. I'll start the time. Okay. Do it on your own. Hmm. Okay. There are a few words here. Face, familiar, voice, shake. You know the meaning of the words. If you check for that, the face of the witness was so familiar that the jury acquitted him. If the face is familiar, There's no need reason of acquitting someone. Maybe he was a criminal. The face was of a familiar criminal. Jury will not acquit him. So C is kind of it has got two interpretations. Voice, the voice was so shaky. If voice is shaky, jury would not acquit him. Okay. Now coming to alibi. Alibi is a very good word. Very, very. I love this term somehow. Do you know the meaning of alibi? Alibi. Alibi is like there is a kind of excuse. Excuse is the wrong term, but excuse is the most um, I would say easiest way to make you understand what alibi means. So an excuse which which lets you go off the law. It's used for legal terms majorly in the legal terminology. So alibi is like, for example, you must have kind of seen some movies, watched some movies, read some novels, stories. It's like when there is a police interrogation and they say, "कल रात आप कहाँ थे?" बोलेगा मैं अपनी बीवी के साथ था. सुना है? Because there is some kind of well, the cops are like, okay, this guy is a might be, we I kind of think that he might be the criminal. He, can be the criminal probably. Okay, so they will ask the question in interrogation, where were you the last night? He was like, I was with my wife. I was at my farmhouse. I was not even in Mumbai. So that is alibi, right? Getting it? Alibi is a proof that you get your sticky situations. Sharbani, yes. The meaning is, if you tell the meaning of alibi, people won't understand it. You have to give the example. There's an example, right? It's in the movie Drishyam, Ajay Devgan. Ajay Devgan has used a lot of alibis. The entire movie is on alibis, isn't it? Do you understand? Do you remember that? उस दिन कहाँ थे हम यहाँ से बस पकड़ के गए थे इनफैक्ट एवरीथिंग हैपेंड वन डे अर्लियर or one day later, I think. So the entire movie was full of alibis. And there, I want to give you the example. Probably tomorrow is Snap. You can't be able to read new things, but I'm recommending you a story, a short story, and the story is called what is it called? The Divine Punishment. Read this story. This such a beautiful story on alibi. Okay, so entire story is a courtroom drama. There is one case. This one case. There are no further dates. Read that, and in the end, you'll be shocked that how can someone write this kind of story? The Divine Punishment. Brilliant story. Yes, 4th October. Yeah. Okay. So alibi was so fragile. If alibi is fragile, jury would not acquit him. Alibi has to be concrete. So A is not the choice. Testimony is so compelling, we will go for B. Clear? All right. Let's go to the next one. He was honored for his exemplary service. Honored, giving some kind of respect. Exemplary, extraordinary service. Looks correct to me. Means he is criticized for his bold service. That looks like a joke. He was fired for his long service, awarded for his short service. A is the most plausible sequence. I don't need to even explain that, right? Next one. Hmm. Nice wordplay. I just love, when things like this dash of the ocean reflects the dash of the sky. I'm such a poem lover. I just love literature because it represents things in such a beautiful way. Words have got some, real beauty which will be lost very soon in 21st century and in the coming time, because people are not into reading anymore, they're not into poems anymore, and the way machine language is developing and the robotics are coming in picture, soon nobody will be doing poetry anymore. They are like, तुम इतना लंबा क्यों बता रहे हो? आजकल लोग क्या बोलते हैं, if you talk someone something, in terms of poems like this, people are like, just come to the point directly. है ना? मतलब यही बोलना चाह रहे हो ना कि बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है देखने में, तो बोल दो ना, आई एम फीलिंग रियली गुड, द सी इज ब्यूटीफुल, इतना बोल दो ना, ये क्यों बोल रहे हो? हाँ, the tranquility of the ocean, ऐसे मत बोला करो. People see say, I don't know, but probably because there's more information these days, less time, so maybe that is the correct evolution. We cannot judge that. Prathamesh, okay, I'll just tell you, I'll check it out. The dash of the sea reflects the this of the sky. Okay, so all right. The depth of the ocean reflects the heat of the sky. Doesn't make sense. Heat of the sky, depth of ocean. So heat of the sky. Even if sky is hot, probably in the daytime, nobody will say that it reflects in such a beautiful way. Depth of the ocean, it reflects the heat of sky. It's even scientifically wrong. The depth cannot reflect the heat. The vastness of the ocean reflects the infinity of the sky. That can be correct because the ocean is vast. Sky is also infinite, so it's reflecting the infinity. Okay, the smallness of ocean, the width of sky, ocean, and smallness. These smallness cannot, kind of qualify an ocean. It's a huge thing, a vast thing. Sea is already wrong. Green of the ocean, red of the sky. So B, we'll go for B here. Clear? Next. The dash manager was dashed by all his subordinates. Now, people can get confused between B and C. Hostile cannot be loved, lazy cannot be feared. Now, coming to benevolent can be respected, yes. Strict can be hated, yes. The thing is, strict manager can be loved also, can be respected also, isn't it? Because being strict is not a bad thing. Do you understand that? So, Avi, if you have marked C and those who think C is right and who are about to mark C, you need to understand that strict is not always a thing for hatred. It can be thing for love also, respect also. So B is better than C. If B was not there, we would have gone for C. Understood? Understood? Got it? So benevolent manager was respected by all his. A person is benevolent will be respected. Yeah. तुम बोलोगे नहीं, कुछ लोग बेनेवोलेंट को रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करते, मजाक उड़ाते हैं, वो अलग बात है, वो कुछ बहुत कम लोग होंगे. लेकिन स्ट्रिक्ट को हेट करेंगे ऐसे लोग तो सच में बहुत कम होंगे. गॉट इट? या 50% लोग ही करेंगे. सो द डिग्री टू विच बी इज करेक्ट इज मोर देन टू व्हाट सी इज करेक्ट. सो गो फॉर बी, नॉट फॉर सी. नेक्स्ट. Let me go for from option D. It is true to assume that everyone is lazy. What is true here? Assuming everyone is lazy, is it true? That is goes against the entire notion of the difference of humans, right? It is wrong to assume that everyone is busy. This can be held true to some context, right? It is wrong to assume that everyone is busy because some people might not be busy, right? So here we'll look at the degree of situation. It is wise to assume that everyone is greedy. It's not wise to assume like that, right? Because that will make you probably biased. It is naive to assume that everyone is honest. So everyone is honest is something which is not true, for sure. And to understand that, you need experience of people. To get experience, you should not be naive. So we'll go for A. A is a better choice than C. We'll go for A. Clear? Now, the next one. Error spotting is what we have. How many questions have we done, by the way? Let me check that out. Oh, wow. We have done 44 questions already. Then we have error spotting, a lot of error spotting questions. Then we have sentence completion. Then we have voice change. Perfect. Good. We're almost halfway. There were 99 questions in total. We have done 44 questions. Okay. So what's the time? 2:37, 2:38. Okay. We'll do the next 11, which is on error spotting. And after that, we'll take a short break of how many? 7 to 8 minutes. All right. Okay. So let's start. So here you see option. This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. You need to find which one has the error. Neither the captain nor the sailors was able to save ship. This is a very important exercise. Here, this is the thing where people, even after knowing the things, mark it wrong, right? I'll give you more time for this. I might give you 1 minute for this. Okay. So now you need to understand one thing. Whenever we use this neither nor, there are two subjects. In fact, subject is captain and the sailors, but two subjects are there. We'll see that which subject is closer to this verb. All right. So captain or the sailors, it's sailors, and sailors are plural, and captain is singular. This is very important. अब जो बताने जा रहा हूँ तो एकदम से लोग भाग गए जैसे ही चीज डिफिकल्ट आई पीपल डू नॉट लर्न थिंग्स एनीवेज here this is very important whenever you have two subjects like this neither nor, so the closer subject will be the one that will be keeping considering. So sailors is plural, we need a plural verb form here, that is plural tense form, that is were, not was. So error in part C. All right. Now mark the attendance ones who all are present. When I talked about the break, probably people thought the break is going to happen now, maybe. That's also a reason. Okay, all of you got that? And those who did not know, just note it down somewhere. This is how you look for subject verb agreement. The closer subject is what we'll be considering. Is that clear? Is that cool? This is pure grammar. The next one. I'll increase the time limit here. Just wait. He is one of those players who has won trophy. All right. Hmm. All right. What's wrong in D? Abhi and Prathamesh, tell me. With the trophy. Why? So if that's the case, Prathamesh and others, why didn't you think the same about this? To save the ship? यहाँ to save ship क्यों? Why not the ship in that case? And why the trophy? Is it important that a singular trophy, a particular trophy is being talked about? One winning a trophy, winning trophy means that okay, he has won any trophy. Why the trophy? The is not required. Why specific? The problem here is in this, it should be who have. He's one of those players who have one trophy. Who have one trophy. It's the same thing again. The players. This is what we'll consider to look at the correct verb form. Player is one of those players who have one trophy. All right. Is that clear? Now, in which case has is correct? Has will be correct if we say he is the only player. In that case, we'll use has. Other players will be using have. So the answer is C here. Clear? So trophy here is not one particular trophy. Trophy is basically a sign of victory here. Anyways, chalo, let's go to the next one. Although he was tired, but he finished the work. Okay, let's do this one. Very good. The bird should not be used here. Error in part B. It will be although he was tired, he finished the work. So here there is a main clause. The main clause is finish the work. Okay, this is the main clause. You know what a clause is? Clause is a part of sentence which has got a closure in itself, but it is not the complete sentence. He, he finished the work in itself looks like a complete statement, right? So within a complete sentence, if we have closed sentences, they are known as clauses. So here he finished the work is the main clause, and what supports it? Although he was tired, but is not required. It is automatically comparison. So it means despite being tired, he finished the work. Do you understand that? इसका एक सिंपल मतलब ये है despite being tired he finished the work. So he finished the work is the main clause and what supports it, although he was tired, but is not even required over here. Okay. There is error in part B. All of you got it? You understand clauses? I hope you do now. Clause is a statement in itself, which is a part of a bigger statement. Yes or no? Tell me something. Yes or no? Next one. 10 miles are a long distance to walk. And in part B, why? Yeah, it should be is exactly. See, don't just write the options, guys. Also give them meaning that why are you saying that? कि correction क्या है? जैसे अभी बोल रहा है कि is हाँ. 10 miles is a long distance to walk. It should be is, right? Now, the thing is, when do we use are? If I say I walked, I walked 10 miles. I walked 10 miles. यहाँ पे मैं माइल्स यूज करूंगा, प्लूरल यूज करूंगा, मतलब प्लूरल जैसा होगा ये. यहाँ पे तो है ही नहीं कोई हेल्पिंग वर्ब, बट यू अंडरस्टैंड इट राइट. सो बेसिकली व्हेन यू से distance as a singular unit, distance as a singular term, 10 miles is now not the miles. It's basically a noun which gives us a collective distance altogether. So distance here is the exact subject, not the miles. Do you understand that? So distance is, but when we are counting the miles one by one, like I walked 10 miles, in that case, we'll be using a plural verb. Is that clear? So error in part B. Clear? Here 10 miles are not important, distance is important. Clear? That basically becomes a singular thing. It is basically a collective noun. All right. It's a collective noun or noun phrase. Absolutely. Shirmani. Okay. Next one. I have been living in this house since 3 years. This is the kind of, I would say, the kind of sentence where a lot of people do wrong every day, even while speaking. So usage of for and since is highly debated. Most of you must have done it in class sixth or seventh. For since, when you use since, we need an exact beginning of the time. Okay, so it's like since 2022. Or if I don't want to use the year here, I would use since 3 years ago. नहीं है सही गौरव, यही तो बात है, गौरव ने बोला सही है, सब लोगों को लगता है सही लगता है ये। हियर you'll use for 3 years. All right. So when you just give the time as a unit for 3 years, you don't give a beginning of the time frame, then we use for. We'll use since whenever there is a exact point of beginning in some in past. For example, the year is given to you. और यहाँ पे since 3 years ago बोल दूंगा तो हो जाएगा. So error is in part D. It must be for 3 years. Is that clear? All of you got that? This is very common mistake a lot of people make. Bhaiya ji, what's your name? I think you also made the same. No, no, you did not make the mistake. You are right. Okay, cool. Others, I cannot see the comments of other people. Now, coming to the next one. There is no error. Of absolutely, absolutely no error. Had I been you. So people also use if I had been you. People use that as well. But had I been you is a more formal way of saying that. Had I been you, there's no error at all. Um, there's also a way if I were you. Okay. Punctuations, yes, Pratmesh, but still there is no error. Comma is rightly placed. Had I been you, I would have helped him. No error at all. Chal. Next. The data provided by researchers are reliable. The researchers, Pratmesh, okay. The data provided by researchers are reliable. Yeah. Others, what do you think? I'll give you more time. Only Pratmesh is answering. Others. इज रिलायबल आएगा। ओके। गौरव, मुर्तजे, वाई, क्यों आएगा? वाई नॉट आर? वाई नॉट आर रिलायबल? वाई इज रिलायबल? Okay, I'll tell you what. Data is and data are, both are true in different contexts. Okay. So when we think about, data in some non-academic context, non-academic, all right, non-academic, when data is not that important, but what we do with the data is important. Understood? When data is not important, but what we do with the data is more important. That is non-academic use of data. In that case, we'll use is. All right. But when data itself is the important thing, that is an academic purpose, in that case, we can use data R, because the singular noun is datum. Okay. So the moment it becomes data is, it is about, it's basically becomes a collective noun, collective singular noun. Then we use data is for non-academic purpose. But for academic purpose, data R is also true because datum is a singular, right? All of you know that. In fact, data is should not be the question. डेटा आर तो होगा ही होगा। तुम्हें सोचना ही चाहिए डेटा इज कहाँ होगा। बात समझ में आ रही है? सब लोग बोल रहे हैं कि इज आएगा, आर नहीं आएगा। उनको एक बात समझनी चाहिए कि आर हमेशा आएगा। हमें सोचना है कि इज कहाँ आएगा भाई, बिकॉज डेटा इटसेल्फ इज अ प्लूरल वर्ड। डेटा में सिंगुलर, इज वहां आएगा जहां पे नॉन एकेडमिक चीजें होंगी। Murthy said yes, it can be used both singular plural, and this is the reason here. So when it's provided by researchers, it means it is academic. So data R is completely correct, not a problem. So D is completely correct. All right. Okay. Now coming to Prathamesh's point of view, which he says it should be the researchers. I'll tell you what. Let's say we are working in a company, okay, and in the company there are researchers working on data. So let's say there is a group of there are 100 researchers, out of which 50 or 60 or 70 have provided this data. I will use the researchers. But what if all those 100 researchers as a team have provided data? In that case, we don't require the over there. Pratmesh, do you understand that? The usage of the, this word the it also depends on context. So if the all researchers were there for data, providing the data, then we don't need the over there, isn't it? Do you understand? But the data was provided by some researchers or data provided by the multiple people. Let's say data was provided by researchers as well as operations guy, as well as marketing guy, as well as sales guy. If everybody was providing the data, and in that case, I want to refer to data provided by the researchers only, then I will use the researchers. Getting it? There are two ways I could have used the, either some researchers out of the whole are doing it, or multiple type of people are providing me the data, but I want to refer to the data which is provided by only the researchers. I use the. Is that clear? So here it is not clear. That means there is no error as such. All of you got it? So repeating everything once, because it is an academic context. So data will be plural or reliable. And because we don't really know that researchers are some researchers, or just the data which is provided by the researchers, not by everyone else, others, then we would have used the. ऐसा कुछ कल आ जाए प्रथमेश, सोचो ना, तुम्हें पता रहेगा। जिसने क्लास नहीं देखी उसे नहीं पता रहेगा तो गलत कर देगा। ये सोचा करो कि ऐसा आ जाए। If it is difficult, it will be difficult for everyone, right? Next one. Okay, so people are saying D. Why? What's the reason? Tell me the reasons also. Just don't tell me the options because even I cannot see your face. I cannot see your expression. So just tell me more. Give me more information. Okay. Gaurav says it should be would. Okay. You would fail, you are saying. Okay. All right. Others? चलो अच्छा, मुझे लग रहा था कि मैं ये क्लास फालतू में ले रहा हूँ क्योंकि इसमें ठीक है, क्योंकि लोग शुरुआत में सब कुछ सही करते जा रहे थे जहाँ पे वर्ड मीनिंग था, बिकॉज द options were like that. I think only one or two questions you did wrong, but the moment I am on error spotting, I am seeing not a single question is has been answered correctly by all the people. Your Arco status, you're also here. Guys, unless is a negative sentence, has got a negative connotation. Not is also negative. Two negatives make a positive. Do you understand that? If you use negative only once, why would you use it again? Unless you work hard, you will fail. That's sufficient. Do not is not even required. So error is in part B, not in part D. Wow. Vivek, yeah. They have used negative. Why do you use negative again, guys? Unless you work hard, you will fail. खत्म. Will को would करना है तुम्हें किसने सिखाई ये सब बातें कि will को would कर दो, shall को should कर दो. That is not required. You will fail. It's okay. It's happening in future. Would will give you more definite thing, but it is not required because it is already indefinite. It might happen in future. You will fail is okay. But two negatives is not okay, right? Unless you work hard, you will fail. Exactly, Prajwal. Now, next one. Scarcely had he reached than it rained. Okay, solve this one. गौरव हो सकता है. Should be comma and not than. Okay, then what should be? The error is in C. Should be when. Scarcely had he reached when it rained. ठीक है. So scarcely had he reached. Here, the what is important is the moment of arrival. So he arrived at the point when it rained. Okay. So this word scarcely is not important because it's important, but scarcely will go with than. But here, the moment of arrival is more important. He reached when it rained. So what happened when he reached? It rained. Scarcely had reached. It means he he did not even reach, or maybe he just reached when it started raining. Okay, we'll go for part C. Clear? I think. हाँ गौरव हार्डली के लिए भी when ही आता है. Hardly, scarcely use when. चलो cool. Uh, I think all of you have marked it right. Most of you. Acha, you haven't marked it all together. Next, neither of the two boys have done homework. And she, yeah, has हो गया यहाँ पे has. None of two boys has done homework. Error is in part C. हाँ. When we use neither this or that, we'll always use has. So what is important? What is important? Neither the two boys, one boy individually. So they has not done the homework. Cool. Okay. Coming to next one. If I was a bird, I would fly to you. Wow, such a nice, poetic, romantic kind of statement. Let's see. Has. Huh. This is a very important sentence. I used to say this to my ex. Okay. Here it won't be was, it will be were. Now, this is a very specific kind of example which might look grammatically wrong to you. I'll tell you what is the exact context here. See, in these sentences, we use was if it is a factual thing which can actually happen, right? Is it visible? My screen is visible. I'll write here. Was is used when it's a factual thing which actually happens. If the things are imaginary or fantastical, okay, we'll be using were. Imaginary, it's more of it is used mostly in poems. Okay, imaginary. So obviously I can't be a bird, I'm a human, right? So whenever we have to imagine something, we use were, not was. So here, more than what looks correct to grammar is more about usage of grammar. All right, so we'll use were. If I were a bird, do you understand that? Was and were both are correct. The only difference is was is used for factual things, were is used for imaginary things. Clear? All of you got that? So error is in part A. It should be if I were. Have you listened to this song? Um, what is it called? If I, if I, if I had a gun. सुनना है इसको. If I had a gun, I'll shoot a hole into the sun. Love to burn the city down for you. Neil Gallagher is the singer. If I had a gun, I'd shoot a hole into the sun, burn the city down for you. Such a beautiful song. Whenever I use, whenever if I something like that comes anywhere, I just kind of recall that song. प्रथमेश, yes. केमिस्ट्री तो यूं ही बदनाम है, सबसे ज्यादा एक्सेप्शंस तो इंग्लिश ग्रामर में है. वाह प्रथमेश, बहुत अच्छी बात बोली है. Alright, did you like the song, the sound of it? If I had a gun, I'll shoot a hole into the sun. All right. And watch the video also. It's really a great video. The very Bollywoodish kind of video. Okay, so we have done 55 questions overall. All right. 44 are left. So I would feel like, we should take a break. But okay, let's do 5 questions more and then we'll take a break. All right. 5 questions more. Because I have to, kind of go downstairs, fetch something, and then come back. So, and probably you also want to have some tea or something, right? So I'll just go after 5 minutes. Let's do a few questions. more. Here we go. Sentence completion. Monk? What monk? Actually, I have scheduled something, so it will probably it is arriving in 5 minutes. That is the reason. Anyways, okay. What is saying? Gaurav Prathamesh Bhiyaji says A when, and Harshiv and Arko say before. You know what? Both are wrong. When is wrong, before is also wrong. I'm really, kind of surprised because that is something which you have learned in your English grammar days back in Senate 7th or 8th. Prathamesh, you did not know that. See, the problem is because of that, even I have very high kind of pressure to create the content and everything. So I'm not able to advertise the features on my grad school dashboard. You guys can create your own test. Yeah. I'm just putting in more and more questions. I would like to advertise that feature. Those who do not know, so there's a feature, and even I'm not advertising for two reasons. One is because for that I'm become very busy. The other is that I am just putting in more and more questions in the pool. So once it has got 10,000 questions, I'll advertise that feature. All of you, let's say you want to practice on a very specific relative motion in time speed distance. So you'll choose quant. You then in quant you'll choose arithmetic. In arithmetic, you will choose time, speed, distance. In that, you will choose relative motion. That you can choose easy, moderate, or difficult. So this is the kind of tagging that I am doing. Okay. So I'll advertise it once I have 10,000 questions in place, and you guys can create your own tests, the number of questions you want to create, and just kind of practice it. Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it beautiful? ये चीज बहुत लोग बहुत टाइम से करने की कोशिश कर देर अन अकेडमी आई थिंक दे हैव डन इट so I was like okay I will do it but when it is complete then only I'll advertise it so Prathamesh has found it it's like finding the hidden gem just like iPhones iPhones have that they do not advertise their features you just have to play with it and then you get oh this is also there anyways the rule here is no sooner did he arrive than the meeting started so you know what when is than used it is a formal way of making you understand that two events have happened immediately one after the other this is where than is used okay. Yeah, Harshit, but they took like, chalo. मतलब क्या है कि I have built it just on first. It's not, it's 19 days. Uh, just 19 days. I will take, I think, 1 month more to fill it up with 10,000 questions. And it is very smooth. Prathamesh, have you used that? Easter eggs, Vivek, yes, oh wow, Vivek, that's the right word. चलो आगे देखते हैं. He ran fast. this is a very, 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 very important kind of usage. Here, he ran fast. If you use so that, it will be so that he should not miss the train. Not is not there. So that will not be there because he should, otherwise he should miss the train. Lest is the correct usage. It's kind of an ancient usage for English, more poetic, more literary, I would say. But lest automatically is a kind of one word substitution for so that and not. He ran fast, lest. Lest is kind of otherwise. Otherwise, he should miss the train, but otherwise is a modern connotation of lest, and it is whenever you have to kind of increase the sense of urgency, you'll use lest and not otherwise. This is very important. Just note this down. Lest is basically, it's a combination of not and so that. Okay, so that he should not miss the train. Okay, and when the urgency is really high, we'll use lest. If urgency is low, we'll use otherwise. And otherwise में he should नहीं आएगा, he would आ जाएगा. That is also a thing. If it is would, I'll use otherwise. If it is should, I'll use lest. All right. Now a break because the thing has arrived. You just kind of All right, here I am. Am I audible? Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Oh, hi, Samir. Covering up, covered up. I started at 1. Just a moment. And I think it's due to probably the winter season that people were not very active at 1 p.m. Anyways, chalo, here goes the next question. All right, Samir. Friday. Okay. Juma. Yes. Today's Juma. Yes. So I haven't seen him. Now, you know what? Everything seems correct here. Yes or no? I haven't seen him for a long time is also correct. I haven't seen him um, in a long time, since a long time. Everything seems correct, right? Through or from the nahi. I haven't seen him for a long time, since a long time, in a long time. Everything is correct, but when you use for, it emphasizes the duration becomes more important. Okay, so here the emphasis is on duration, long time. So we'll go for, not for since. Clear? All right. You use since when you also write the when this begin. Okay. When it started. If you want to mention that when it started, you'll go for since. But if you want to emphasize on the time duration, the long time duration, you will go for. Is that clear, everyone? Understood? And also while making the notes, just kind of note these pointers. This is very important. Is that clear? Is that cool? We'll go for. Okay. So if it said, I haven't seen him last Monday, then I will use since last Monday because that will be giving us an idea about when did this start. All right, next one. Hmm. Here I am. His senior. than me, to me, from me, over me, and from me, the varsity, they are eliminated. Now, people are confused between than and to. You know what? Normally, normally Indians feel कि कोई हमसे सीनियर है ये एक कंपैरिजन है. Than is used to compare, okay, and to is used for relationship. Getting it? If I have to write, he has served more time dash me in service, then it will be comparison. I'll use than. Getting it? He has served more time than me in service. Okay, the comparison comes into play. But if it's a relationship, senior is a relationship. He's senior to me. I'll go for two. Did you understand that? This is a very common mistake which people commit. You guys are not committing it. That's a great thing altogether. But then, did you understand that? He's senior to me. So senior is into consideration the relationship. It's not the number of years he has served, number of other time units, years, days, weeks. Did you understand that? Yes or no? Tell me, where do you use than, where do you use to in these kind of sentences? Yeah, next one. She is too tired. I think everybody knows this. All of you know it. She is too tired walking any further. Too tired. We need a preposition here. Walking, she too tired that she walks any further. Uh, Too tired, too is always used with small two. That is the verb form. To walk any further. She's too tired to walk. So too tired, this two comes with two, tired comes with walk. So too tired to walk any further. There's something which all of you know. There's no need of we're explaining that thing to you guys. All right, she's too tired to walk. Okay, no confusion at all. Now coming to the next one. If it rains, the match cancelled. Will be cancelled, would be cancelled, should be cancelled, must be cancelled. See, here it is like, the if then conditionality, it's more logic than grammar, but grammar is logic only, right? So if it rains, defense match, cricket or football. So there's a condition that rain is a sufficient condition for the cancellation of the match. It's a sufficient condition. So match stands cancelled. Match is definitely going to be cancelled if it rains, right? So raining is a sufficient condition to cancel the match. So it is going to be happening definitely. So we'll go for a definitive tense form that is will be. Okay, the match will be cancelled. Hona hi hona hai. Clear? So it depends on context as well. Now coming to the next one. Hardly had he. Oh, yeah. Hardly had he left. Dash telephone rang. I think we have discussed this kind of statement earlier also. So I want you to answer this within 10 seconds. When, jab, Avinash. Yes. So see, I told you earlier also, when you use no sooner, you use no sooner, you use than. This is what we use with no sooner. When it is hardly, you use when. Okay, just note it down somewhere. Than should come with no sooner, and when comes with hardly. All right, hardly had he left when the telephone rang. All right, this that's a grammatical rule. Just note it down somewhere. Have you noted? Tell me yes or no. No sooner, hardly. So if it was no sooner had he left than अच्छा था वहां पे than the telephone rang. Okay, we discussed that in an earlier sentence where we used no sooner. Here we used hardly. We also use scarcely, right? Next, though he is poor, he is honest. All right. The thing is here, uh, when you say though he is poor, the emphasis on like okay, so whenever we use something like sentence like this, we somehow um, have a premise attached to it that a poor person will not be honest, isn't it? That is why you're using it. So though has already increased the intensity of his honesty when compared to being poor. Okay, that's an exception. So though he is poor, he is honest is sufficient. Here the options are wrong actually. It should be, no error. I think somebody said that. Prathmesh, yes. The blank seems correct. There should be nothing here. So it was he is poor. If though was not present, he is poor, but he is honest. In that case, you will use but. A lot of people have used that. Okay. Though he is poor, still is not required. Nothing is required. There was a I think option error here. So no error. There's no error at all. Clear? When you use though or although he is poor, he is honest. That goes well. All right. ठीक है? So though means in a way, even if, though also means however. Okay. So we don't require anything else here. It's sufficient. Cool. But I think in the absence of no error, you must have marked still. There should be no error. Let's go to next one. He has been living here. Now, this is something which all of you will mark because I have discussed this at least 3 times in today's session. Absolutely true. It starts, we know when it started. So when we know when it started, we'll go for since. गौरव यहाँ 30 सेकेंड्स बहुत हैं, पर कुछ क्वेश्चन में था 1 मिनट, अभी यहाँ पे लग रहा होगा, कोई बात नहीं। उसी में मैं एक्सप्लेन भी कर दे, तुम लोग सॉल्व भी कर दे रहे हो, सब कुछ हो जा रहा है 1 मिनट में, है ना? एवरीथिंग इज कवर्ड। इट इज टाइम वी डैश फॉर होम। इट इज टाइम वी डैश फॉर होम। So whenever we have to do something in future, okay, so future, there is an obligation in future, you do something, you use the past form left. So it is time, here we have present, okay, it is time we do something in future, okay, in that case we use the past form. Strange way of grammar, right? English grammar, even if it might feel weird to you, but that is the most plausible sequence. That is how grammar is used. It looks like it we should if we leave for home like Harshiv felt, but that is a grammar rule that whenever you have to go for a future obligation, obligation is important. Here the emphasis is on obligation. It has to be done. When it has to be done, we'll use the past form. Just note it down somewhere, especially Harshiv and Arko. Okay. So in the present, if we are talking about some future obligation, we'll use the past form. Isn't it strange? Talking in present about future using past. But that is how English grammar plays. Is that clear? I think there's a time you should, kind of throw some likes over there. Okay. Now, what is this called? This is called as past. This particular thing, is called as past subjunctive mood. If I go, spill everything in grammar, there's a past subjunctive mood. It is used, this form of verb is used, when even if it looks like past, something that has to be immediately done. फ्यूचर मतलब बहुत फ्यूचर की बात नहीं है, इट्स लाइक long in future, it's near future, immediately in future, it's like present to future, right? So whenever we have that, we use past subjunctive cases where something needs to be done, you are in present and you want to do something immediately after it, we use past subjunctive mood, and that is how we use, yeah, left. Okay. And if for was not there, we would have used it is time we returned home. समझ में आया? अगर for यहाँ ना होता, तो it is time we returned home. Clear? All of you got that? Are you noting this down? I'll wait for 20 seconds. Just note this down once. I want you to note this. There's an important form. Right? Most of you know it, but those who do not know, just note this down. All right. Next. The dash you work, the dash you get. I think this one is easy. Kind of sentences you might be seeing, hearing every day. So basically, it's like, the dash you work, the dash you get. So basically, you are working already. You need to do something extra. So obviously, we'll go for a comparative degree. You're working, so you have to work harder. And if you do harder, so once you use harder, why? Because the dash you work. So basically, you are working. It means that you are working. It's just that you have to work harder. And because of parallelism, the same verb form should be here. We'll go for the comparative form of good. Okay, so good comparative form is better. So hard good, hard better, harder good. So first of all, yeah, Prathamesh, obviously. So first of all, we looked at the parallelism may be B hai, Prathamesh. The thing is, first we need to identify whether it will be harder or hard. The moment we identified harder, then we can use the parallelism. So why we use harder? Because the sentence is already assuming that you are working. So you need to do something more. So best form is doing something more is not doing something else, doing the same thing in a better way. Getting it? So that is why we have this comparative and superlative degrees. So comparative is harder. All right. Next, voice change, active to passive. The chef is preparing a delicious meal. Is preparing. That means it's present continuous. The action is still happening. All right. यहाँ पे ऑप्शन पूरा है नहीं, मतलब डिलीशियस शुरुआत में आना चाहिए. अ डिलीशियस मील शुरुआत में, अ डिलीशियस मील हर जगह लगा हुआ है. अ डिलीशियस मील इज प्रिपेयर्ड बाय शेफ. अ डिलीशियस मील बीइंग प्रिपेयर्ड बाय शेफ. अ डिलीशियस मील इज बीइंग प्रिपेयर्ड बाय शेफ. अ डिलीशियस मील वाज बीइंग प्रिपेयर्ड बाय शेफ. विल गो फॉर सी. इज बीइंग प्रिपेयर्ड बिकॉज इट इज कॉन्टिन्यूअस टेंस. तो ये इज बीइंग इज द continuous form. All right, being prepared. Cool. I hope all of you got that. Here, the tense form would not be completely changed. तो is being prepared, यहाँ prepared आ गया, तो ये जो है ये फॉर्म कैसा आ गया? Continuous, continuous past आ गया है. is preparing जो अभी चल रहा है. Passive में कोई थर्ड पर्सन बोल रहा है शेफ के बारे में, है ना? So meal is being, a delicious meal is being prepared by chef. So being is something, the act is still happening. Okay, the still act is still happening, and it started in the past. Clear? So we go for present continuous to past continuous. That is how active to passive works. Coming to next one. Open the door. Let door be opened. Door should open. Door opened by you. Door is open. Open the door. Present. So what will happen? We'll go to past. The moment we go to active to passive, tense changes from present to past. That is what happens, right? So what do we get there? Here. Now 1 minute में दो सवाल करने हैं. Let door be open. Obviously, we'll go for just past, present to past. Simple. Next. Who wrote this book? Convert to passive. This one is easy. I think the options are kind of, option 3 and 4 are funny, right? Acha, I remember there was one doubt which some student, sent me from somewhere. I'll just clear that doubt over here. And let's see what all you think. First, do this. B, by whom was this book written? Okay, cool. All of you know that. I want to, wait. ठीक है. मैं ना एक चीज़ पूछना चाहता हूँ. There was a doubt which came across me. Let me just note it down. Okay, I do not have it printed. I'll just write it here. So it was like, which of the following statements are grammatically correct? The first statement was like this. It said, looking around the class only a few hands were raised in response. Someone sent me this. Okay. Then B was I was. Till then, you find if A is correct or not. I was under the impression that the firm was being managed by the engineer from China. And C was being the firstborn, being the firstborn, she has always had a lot of responsibility on her shoulders. Okay, there were three sentences given to you, and they asked what is correct here. Okay, so the first option was A, second option was C, like A only, C only, and third option was A and B, and the fourth option was B and C. Let's see, what do you think? I'm starting the timer over here. Looking around the class, only a few hands were raised in response. Yes, I was under the impression that the firm was being managed by the engineer from China. Being the firstborn, she always had a responsibility on her shoulders. Yeah, this was a doubt asked to me by a student. What do you guys think? Probably the student is here itself. Yeah, time up. Should I give you more time? With the three sentences, let me give you 30 seconds more. Her shift says C means second option. Only C. Okay. Her shift says only C. Akshita says A and B. Okay, no, you also give me your reasoning. Now don't do it like this. Only C, A and B. Just tell me your reasoning as well. Guys, reasoning. I need the reasoning. Harshev, Akshita, Prathamesh, Gaurav, and everybody else is typing. Just type the reasoning as well. मुझे लगता है कि मेरा picture is okay. I'll put it here. Come on, be quick. Gaurav says being a first child. तो मतलब क्या बोल रहे हो? अ होना चाहिए. That's what you're saying. And why others are correct? प्रॉपर लिखो एक बार. इतना सब मैं लिखा है, एक लाइन तुम भी लिख सकते हो. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. अभी एमबीए करने जाओगे तो दिन रात लिखते ही रहोगे. राइट. प्रथमेश feels C is incorrect, has always had is incorrect. A is incorrect as it has no subject. Okay, so you are okay. Prathmesh says प्रथमेश, यू आर सेइंग बी ओनली, ऑप्शन ही नहीं है फिर तो। या प्रथमेश, the options are right here. Harshit says in C is written being the firstborn. I feel it's incorrect. You feel it's incorrect. Okay. Why? She has always had seems incorrect. Seems incorrect. Why it seems incorrect? Is there a reason hash should not be there? Akshita says the same. C for incorrect article. Oh wow. Okay. So Gaurav thinks it's the incorrect article. Other says has had has have ये गड़बड़ लग रहा है, right? Okay. Now this is a very important part. It's a good question, by the way. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Let's look at one by one. A. Looking around the class, only a few hands were raised in response. Looking around, who was looking around the class? The hands. It looks like from the statement, looking around the class, only a few hands were raised in response. That means they are the hands which are looking around the class. Is it possible? No. It should be looking around the class. I saw only a few hands. I saw, he saw, she saw. The subject is absent here. Subject is not even there. So if you feel that A is correct, people who feel A is correct, that means you are also feeling that hands are the ones which are looking around the class. They are looking at the class and raised themselves. Does that make any sense? Not really. A is wrong. A is wrong. What is wrong here? The dangling modifier. That's an error of dangling modifier because we don't know who is looking around the class. Did you understand? Tell me yes or no. We don't know who is looking at the class. I don't know why you are saying A is correct. Prathmesh was right there. A is incorrect. But Prathmesh, you are not totally right. For your C, for your reasoning of C, your reasoning is wrong. For A, it's correct. Yes, Gaurav, it's dangling modifier. Okay, now coming to B. I was under the impression that the firm was being managed by the engineer from China. It's totally correct. I was under the impression. I thought that. What did I think? I thought that firm was being managed by the engineer from China. Though is totally correct over here because in that firm there might be engineers from different nationalities and only one was from in China. So depending on context, the engineer is correct. It's correct if there are multiple engineers and from China we have only one engineer. I would use the. So B is totally correct. Coming to C, being the firstborn. So what's the problem here? It's a the is totally correct, Gaurav. It's a but the noun is the definitive. The article is definite. It's a definite article. Firstborn. So in the family, she was the firstborn. The will be there because it's a definite person, not different people, right? So that is correct. I mean, she has always had. People are saying this. Gaurav को द वाला problem है, बाकी लोगों को ये problem है. I'm really, kind of astounded to see that. Anyways, but you guys here to learn. Has always had is totally correct. There is no confusion here. It's totally correct. Totally correct. I'll tell you when is it used. Has had, have had. ये सारी चीजें कब यूज की जाती हैं समझना बात को. Had. She has always had. So when it is she has, that means present. Always had, that means past. So basically, what is happening? She had a responsibility on her shoulders. Okay. She had, and she still has it. Getting it? So it's a continuation. A continuation. The process is continuing. She had the responsibility in the past because she was the firstborn, and she still has the responsibility. It's not over yet. That is the reason we use has had, have had, etc. Did you understand that? So she has always had. उसके पास ये responsibility, ये कार्यभार हमेशा से ही था. इसको हिंदी में हम ये बोलेंगे हमेशा से ही था और आज भी है. All right. So has always had is totally correct. The correct answer is option D, B and C. This was something which I needed you to tell, needed to tell you. People always feel that using two tense forms is wrong. It's not wrong. It's correct. So how do you define it? Has, है, always had, पहले भी था, पहले से लेके आज तक अभी भी है. कब तक रहेगा पता नहीं, but it's there. So she has always had. Cool. Something that was in the past but still continuing. Answer is fourth. Chalo. Let's go back to our this thing. Hmm. You liked it? Throw some likes. कुछ like वाइक तो कर दो यार. Coming to next one. All right. Here we go. Voice change. Passive voice again. People speak English all over the world. Prathamesh. Yes. वैसे स्नैप में वो इस तरह नहीं देगा कि मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस वाला, वो एक ही ऑप्शन देगा, बट देन दिस इज अ गुड एक्सरसाइज. A is correct. Should be a proper, more proper option will be English spoken all over the world, but all over the world उन्होंने globally से replace कर दिया, so it's okay. We'll go for A, not a problem. Hmm? Coming to the next one. The police arrested the thief. The police arrested the thief. I think this is easy. Who was arrested? Thief. By whom? The police. So thief was arrested by police. Thief arrest यहाँ पे was गायब है. He was being arrested. किससे? Police was arresting thief. ये तो कुछ है ही नहीं. Okay, ये तो गलत ही है obviously. इन्होंने past को past ही रहने दिया. The thief was arrested by police. Oh, there's passive voice. Coming to next one. I have finished the work. I have finished the work. So this is the definite tense, past and definite also. It is called perfect, past perfect. It's not past definite, it's called past perfect. Thing has happened. The work is over. Okay? The work is over. So in the passive voice, you will be using this term called been. And which term? Has been. क्योंकि वो hmm, I have finished the work. Here we have the present tense. So we'll use has been. If it was I had finished the work, I would have used had been. So we'll go with C. Very good. Got it, everyone? Did you get it? अगर यहाँ होता I had finished the work तो मैं I the work had been finished by me बोल देता. ठीक है, वैसे यहाँ the होना चाहिए, वो options जल्दीबाजी में लिखे हैं. ठीक है, the work has been finished by me. All right, is that clear? Have है तो has been, had होता तो had been. चलो, coming to the next one. She will deliver the speech. Here the object is the speech, right? The action is delivering the speech, will deliver. Or in passive voice, we'll go for the past participle of deliver, that is delivered. Delivered यहाँ भी है, यहाँ भी है, यहाँ भी है. Okay, but the person who is acting is not anywhere, so we'll go for C here. Speech will be delivered by her. हर कहीं पे था ही नहीं, तो बिल्कुल simple सा हो गया. Right, let's go for the next one. Did you see him? Prathamesh, what you're asking, your sentence is grammar. You are great in grammar, Prathamesh, but what you're writing over here is wrong. So, do we examples of reported? What do you mean? I think you're asking, do we have examples of reported speech? Right? No, actually, I don't have that. Did you see him? Was he seen by you? Yes. ठीक है. सी का सीन बन जाएगा एंड पास्ट है was he seen by you. Nothing to explain. We must respect our parents. Parents respected by us. Parents must respect us. Parents should respect it. I think this is easy for everyone. Parents must be respected, right? इतना काफी है, यहाँ बाय अस की जरूरत नहीं है. Parents must be respected. It's obviously by someone. So it will be us here is, we here is not just specifically a group of people called we. It's basically the entire humans or entire humanity, right? It's a general statement. So parents must be respected. That's all. By us की जरूरत यहाँ पे नहीं है. बात समझ में आई? Parents must be respected by us is not required. Even if it is there, it's not wrong. But if it's not there, it's all right. ठीक है? Next. They were playing cricket. Cricket played them. I think no prizes for guessing this as well. Were playing, was being played. We'll go for B, right? No need of discussing this much. जल्दी से कर लेते हैं बराबर. I saw him opening the box. Yes. यहाँ पे ना ये कंप्लीट है नहीं यार, ये ना ये कंप्लीट यहाँ पे ये इधर होना चाहिए. He was seen opening the box by whom? By me होना चाहिए यहाँ पे. ये by me यहाँ पे मिसिंग है. यहाँ पे by me मिसिंग है. So what is it? A is right. He was seen. He was seen. Saw. He was seen opening the box. By whom? By me. All right. We'll go for A. Next. He said, "I'm happy." Indirect. अब यहाँ पे reported speech तुम बोल रहे थे ना? Oh yes, Prathamesh, it's there. Active to passive खत्म हो गया. We have done that as well. Now we're going to the next set of questions, which are reported speech. Prathamesh, you happy? Yes. The reported speech. He said, "I am happy." Okay, said is past. In the past, he said this. So basically, this action happened in the past, right? So when it was he said in the active quotations, that means the what he said has been directly given to you, right? That is a direct speech. Movement becomes indirect. So this has action has happened in the past. So him being happy is also a past action. So we'll say he said that he was happy. We'll go for B. Right? Right? Okay. Here comes next. She said, "Where are you going?" Whenever there is a question, said becomes asked. Say becomes ask. Right? You know that, right? तो she said तो वैसे गलत हो गया. ओके। मोहित, मोहतिश, मोहतिशिम, मोहतिशिम फिगर स्पीच हो गया। मैंने 1 बजे शुरू किया था, तो शुरुआत के आधे घंटे फिगर ऑफ स्पीच ही करा था। तुम जल्दी से जब खत्म हो जाए रिकॉर्डिंग देख लेना एक बार ना। और कोई 1.5x देखने की जरूरत नहीं है कि यहाँ पे हम वैसे भी कोई यहाँ वहाँ की बातें नहीं कर रहे, वो तुम कॉन्टिन्यूसली देख लेना। प्रैक्टिस करते रहना, हर क्वेश्चन में मैंने 45 सेकेंड्स दिया है। प्रोबेबली अगर तुम्हें सिर्फ याद करना है। और एक चीज़ और, पीपल हैव जॉइंड रिसेंटली, लुक एट द पिंड कमेंट। I have given a free gift to all of you to revise all these things quickly. Okay, just go there, you will find an app, click on it, it's free. It looks like a course but it's free. The moment you enroll over there, it won't charge any money to you. You will be given, you will can access 4 PDFs in which figures of speech, what this idioms, phrases, all things are given over there. Okay, you can just download that. Hmm. She asked, where was I going? Right, where was I going? Well, I was going in yoga, where was I going? All right, in the same way, in the same manner. Where are you? So helping verb comes before the real verb. So we'll go for, she asked, where was I going? Now, the next one. Wait for me, he told her. So whenever there is a question, or when there is a request, there is an order. So normally, what happens? This telling, the act of telling becomes the act of asking. Okay? Request, order, or question. Clear? So we need to go for ask. Told her says no, asked, wait for, completing his sentence. He asked her to wait for him. All right, is that clear? Did you, are you writing these micro hacks? Told becomes ask. In what circumstances? When there is a question, there is a request, there is an order. Note it. Question. That means interrogation. There's an order. There's a request. All right, just note this down. Okay. Coming to the next one. He said, I'll do it tomorrow. This is very important. बचपन की यादें सबको आ रही है क्या? This is very important. You know what happens? Tomorrow becomes next day in indirect speech. Those who do not know it might do it wrong. Next day. He said he would do it next day. इसे याद कर लो, note कर लो कहीं पे. I think a lot of you already know that, right? But those who do not know, just note this down. Tomorrow becomes the next day. These diabolical. He said that he did it tomorrow. Yes, next day is what we get. Now, the father said honesty is the best policy. ये complete नहीं है नीचे वाले ना. Options are not complete. But what if they were complete? What would it be? ऐसे बोल देता हूं मैं. The father said that honesty is the best policy. यहाँ हमें honesty was नहीं कर सकते. You know why? Because see, this is important here because this is a quote. It's a quotation. It's a universal truth. Okay. So when this is universal truth, you do not change its universal quote. You do not change its tense. Getting it? Yes, Gaurav. Today becomes that day. So you do not change. Okay. The father said that honesty was the best policy. You do not change it. Is that clear? Do you understand? If it is a quotation, we'll go for the same kind of tense. Cool? Yes. Obviously. Yes, Prashwal. Father said that honesty is the best policy. मतलब हर टाइप के क्वेश्चंस कर लिए वैसे हमने. कोई दिक्कत है नहीं. है ना? All the exceptions and everything. Okay. She asked, did you see the match? Honesty lost its significance. Yes, if it was in past. Absolutely true. She asked if I had seen दो मैच. दो मैच होगा है ना. ठीक है, बी इज करेक्ट. इफ आई हैड सीन द मैच, हैड सीन, हो चुका है, देख चुका हूँ. ओके. डोंट गो देयर ही सेड. ये सारे प्रॉब्लमेटिक हैं यार. यहाँ पे बड़ा प्रॉब्लमेटिक है पूरा ये प्रज्वल. All the options, it should be he told me not to go there. सारे ही गलत है इसमें. Okay, just write it. He told me not to go there. Bas, that's it. Nothing else. Don't mark any options. Just write if you feel the options are wrong. Okay. He told me not to go there. Next. Forbade is what you have marked, which looks correct, but kind of using a introducing a new term is not a great idea. Okay. From and the options are somehow they are wrong. It should be he told me not to go there. All right. Now he said, "Bravo, you did well." He said, "Bravo, you did well." This is important. Here you'll get a new word. Bravo. Bravo is something is a word which is very colloquial in nature. When do we use bravo? We use bravo for an applause. Do you understand that? Bravo word is colloquial. It's not very literary in nature. But what does it mean to applaud someone? Do we have applause? Yes. He applauded him. ये तो ऑप्शंस थोड़े गलत तरीके से लिखे हुए हैं. He applauded him saying he did well होना चाहिए. यहाँ पे he did well थोड़ा सा ऑप्शंस में ऊपर नीचे हो गया. But the main thing is what you have understood that bravo is used for applauded. All right. The options are somehow messed up, but then you understood the idea. Whenever you use this kind of term, which is not, see, this is a colloquial term. What is colloquial? It's very cultural in nature. It's not very literary in nature. So basically, you go for applause. Yeah, Vinash, that was the main thing is bravo. Bravo means applause. When we use to indirect, we'll go for applauded. Clear? Okay, now he said, let's go for a walk. Now, let's go for a walk. What kind of thing is this? It's a suggestion, right? It's a suggestion. So now in the indirect speech, we can use where there was a suggestion was there. He suggested that we should walk. Cool. This is very important part where we introduce new words. We introduce new words when we get the feeling of it. Applause, suggestion, all that stuff. We get the feeling of it. Let us go. Let's go. That's when a suggestion is there, right? It's not an order. So we'll use suggestions. Clear? Absolutely correct. Now, next. I can't come today, she told him. देखो, today तो change हो जाएगा. That day या कुछ ऐसा then we have here. She told him she couldn't come then. Yes, B is correct. All right. Today would not be using the same format. It will change. That day, then मतलब उसी दिन की अगर बात हो रही है, so then is a better choice over here. He asked, will you help me? Will becomes would. He asked, nothing will change. He asked if I would help. Though you have a request, it's kind of a request, but if it's a request, it doesn't mean that there should be request in the third in the indirect speech. Why? Why? I'll tell you why. Because this request also has a question mark. The request has a question mark. That is why it cannot be just request. It is also a question, so we'll go for B. Is that clear? So this is the kind of I would say an outlier or an exception to the case where request is also a question. So we'll go for he asked if I would help him. So if must be there. Clear? Yes, tell me yes in the comments. Now the next part is analogy, which is not just verbal, it is also a bit of logical reasoning. Scalpel to surgeon, pen to what? Chalo. 20 seconds each. Surgeon uses scalpel. सर्जन का मेन टूल ही स्कैल्पल है, उसी से वो सारे कट्स लगाता है. पेन को कौन यूज करता है? There has to be a profession, a professional. Okay, the professional is author. He writes on a paper with ink. Is there in pen? But the correct is the surgeon is a professional. We need a professional here. Author is the correct term over here. Correct choice over here. Next, lungs, respiration, heart. Lungs do what? Lungs are the most important organs for respiration. So heart is the most important organ for what? I'll wait for 10 seconds and then I'll mark the answer because there is a lag of 10 seconds between your comments and my screen. That is usual lag of YouTube. Heart circulates blood. Okay. Blood करता है, heart beat भी करता है, heart से vessels भी होती है, but the act it does is circulation. Avinash just wrote beat. No, Avinash. Heart circulates blood. Okay, Avinash. Okay, next. Needle, thread, pen. नीडल के अंदर थ्रेड जाती है तो पेन के अंदर क्या जाता है? पेपर, इंक, कैप, राइट. 10 seconds over. It's ink. All right. क्लॉक दिखाता है टाइम. थर्मोमीटर दिखाता है क्या? I'll wait for 15 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thermometer shows temperature, not heat, not fever, not doctor. Okay, should be temperature. People might be marking fever. और छोटी मोटी गलतियां भले सब लोग जानते हैं ये कर सकते हैं, ये गलतियां हो जाती हैं जल्दीबाजी में. कार चलती है रोड पे, शिप चलता है कहाँ? सी, वाटर, बोट, सेल. वाह, this can confuse you. वाटर तो कई प्रकार के होते हैं, वाटर कैन बी रिवर, इट कैन बी पॉन्ड, इट कैन बी ग्लास ऑफ वाटर। सो एब्सोल्युटली वाटर वुड नॉट बी देयर। शिप में सेल्स लगी होती हैं पर चलता सेल पे नहीं है, वो चलता सी पे है और रुकता पोर्ट पे है। इट शुड बी पोर्ट और सी। सी कार रोड पे चलती भी है रुकती भी है, इंडिया वाले रोड पे कार रोक देते हैं, है ना। तो तुम इंडियंस हो, तुम बोलोगे यार शिप, फिर तो यार कार तो हम रोड पे रोकते भी हैं और चलाते भी हैं, और शिप जो है वो सी पे चलता भी है पोर्ट पे रुकता भी है, तो कौन सा चूज कर लें। तो सच्चाई ये है कि हम इंडिया में ऐसा करते हैं, ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए। ठीक है। जो कार हम रोकते हैं वो कार पार्किंग में रोकते हैं, डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट। सो व्हाट पार्किंग इज फॉर कार इज पोर्ट फॉर शिप। गेटिंग इट। ठीक है। बात समझ में आ गई। तो हम जो रोड पे कार पार्क कर देते हैं, लिखा रहता है नो पार्किंग, वो करते हैं हम जानबूझ के। थोड़ा इंडियंस को प्रॉब्लम है, रूल्स तोड़ने में मजा आता है। ठीक है ना। तो जो अपना इंडियन वाला थॉट प्रोसेस है वो वहाँ एग्जाम में मत डाल देना। द आंसर शुड बी सी। इज दैट क्लियर? ओके। लेकिन सर मैं तो रोड पे खड़ी करता हूँ। तो उसके लिए कार पार्किंग होती है। सो पार्किंग इज फॉर कार, सेम वे पोर्ट इज फॉर ship. So road is for car, same way. Sea is for ship. Oasis desert. You know what is oasis is? You've seen an oasis? Avinash, don't surf to it. It just, you know, moves on it. That is how we'll, see, look at it. Yeah, Swaroop. Oasis, what is oasis? A small part in desert where greenery is there, where normally villages are there. So oasis is on desert. Island is on what? So basically, Oasis gives you, a life-like conditions in a barren land. Similarly, an island will be giving you life-like conditions on a barren what? Swaroop is saying land. Swaroop, first you said it's easy, and then you are marking it wrong. What is happening? That's the irony. यार आइलैंड ओशन में होता है ना भाई, लैंड में ना आइलैंड होता है। यस स्वरूप। Like Oasis is is in the desert, island is in the ocean. ठीक है? Clear? Now you will say island can also be on sea. That's right. That is right. Is that right? It's not right actually. See, the thing is, sea is a smaller part of ocean. All right. Now Lakshadweep is a group of islands. It's an archipelago in Arabian Sea. Seas are usually small. Okay. So there can be any land inside the sea which is not ideally an island, but any land where there is vegetation will be on the in the ocean. A lot of seas in which islands are not there. For example, Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea. Sea can also be a very large water body which is very much similar to a lake. So islands sea में हो भी सकते हैं नहीं भी सकते हैं, but ocean पे तो हमेशा ही होंगे. So we'll choose ocean, not sea. Is that clear? Okay. Coming to next one. Bird, fly, fish. This is simple. What does bird do? Bird flies. What does fish do? Fish swims, yeah, in the water with fins, swims through, respires through gills, but the act here is swimming. Prathmesh, absolutely, that's what I said, right? So swimming is what fish does. In museum, we have artifacts. So museum is to artifact. What's the relation here? That artifact is inside the museum. So what's inside the library? Shelf, लाइब्रेरी। ये भी तो रहता है लाइब्रेरी के अंदर, तो ये सही क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि ये लिविंग थिंग है ना। लाइब्रेरी के अंदर बुक्स रहती हैं। सो म्यूजियम के अंदर देर आर पीपल हु टेक केयर ऑफ द म्यूजियम, राइट। अ नाइट इन द म्यूजियम देखिए मूवी, तो वो लाइब्रेरियन की जैसा होगा, बुक्स नहीं, है ना। द आंसर इज बुक्स। क्लियर? Grain, stock, stick. So when you kind of, you stock grains, basically if you put grains one over the other, it becomes stock. What happens if you put sticks one over the other? bundle, heap, group, collection. A heap of sticks. It should be a heap of sticks, not a collection. Bundle, group also is correct, but what grain is to stock, right? A group of grains become a stock of grains. So it'll be heap of sticks, not a bundle. Bundle is basically, it can be, tied. Group is just a collective noun, which group can be of multiple other things also. Collection is can also be of multiple other things as well, right? Collection of multiple things can be there. For stick, the more technical term is heap, not collection. Collection of books can be there, collection of pens can be there, collection of different things can be there, right? So we'll go for heap of sticks. Is that clear? Painter, brush. So painter uses the brush to paint. Sculptor uses what to sculpt? Hammer, chisel, statue, stone. देखो, जो पेंटर का जो पेंटर का रिलेशन होगा कैनवस से, वो रिलेशन स्कल्प्टर का स्टोन से होगा. राइट? राइट? इज दैट राइट? Painter might use different cloth to clean things, all that stuff. So, but with the brush, he actually paints. So, sculptor sculpts thing by using a chisel. Chisel is a sharpened object, which hammer is also used over there, but chisel is the one which is more close to brush. Hammer is something which, kind of just for the force we do that. So hammer will be close, but chisel will be the closest. We'll go for chisel because chisel is what actually hits the stone, and painter makes a painting. So whatever is the relation of painter with the painting, the same relation we have with the sculptor and statue. Here we go for chisel. Clear? It's same as brush for the painter. Next, hunger, food, thirst, what? When you're hungry, you eat food. When you're thirsty, you do what? You drink something, right? Drinking is an act. Tea is the thing that you drink. Quench is act of overcoming the thirst, right? Quenching the thirst. What you eat? What do you drink? You can eat water and tea both, but I won't choose tea over water. Why? Because you might drink tea or not. स्वरूप नहीं, आज नहीं यार, अब कल ही तो स्नैप का एग्जाम है. अब ट्रूथ टेलर वगैरह हम पहले कर चुके हैं, है ना. आज स्पेसिफिकली मेरे को लोगों ने बोला था कि सर थोड़ा सा वीए कर दो, क्योंकि वीए का कोई ढंग से कर नहीं रहा कहीं पे ना. सो वेरी लेस टाइम इज देयर. So people were kind of requesting that do something for VA, which is kind of highly ignored topic across YouTube and everywhere. So I thought like, okay, let's do 99 questions on that. Okay, so water is what we'll choose because water is drunk by everyone. Complete. Good luck for Snap 2024. All right, that's all. That's all. That's all. Okay, so we are done with 99 questions. We started this session at exactly at 1 p.m. I waited for 2 minutes. Now it is 4:38. There was 8 minutes ka gap. So 3 hours and 28 minutes is what we have done. We have done 99 questions. So the people who did not watch the entire thing, you can just, go through it once. You can just look at the question and try to look at the answer. Probably you can do this within, I would say, 1.5 hours. Apart from that, if you look at the pinned comment, I have posted a free course over there in which there are 4 PDFs. Just go through that and you will take not more than an hour. So in 2.5 hours, you can revise everything that is VA in Snap. मैथमेटिक्स, लॉजिकल रीजनिंग तो बहुत सारी आप लोगों ने ऑलरेडी करी रही होगी. Alright, yes, you can focus on LR and QA entirely, Prathamesh. Now, no need to look at VA again. Probably just before the exam, you can look at those PDFs. All right. So just tell me anything, any question that you have. Pratmesh, you're welcome. Sarup. Yes, yes, MSCT exam. We are starting on 27th. There are already three people who have enrolled with me. On 27th December, I'm starting MSCT program. All right. Can do one thing. Let me, okay, wait. I'll just put the link of MSCT program as well in case anybody wants to see. Okay, just go through that. Moreover, anybody, just put the link to the WhatsApp group if people want to, kind of connect with me, they can. Let me just show you the MSCT program. Here it goes. This program there'll be 50 live sessions done in 100 days. There are 40 sectional tests, 100 area tests, and 16 books will also be given. All right. And 30 full length tests so 50 classes, 30 full length tests, 40 sectional tests, 100 area tests, and 16 books. It'll be starting on 27 December for 100 days. I'm just putting it here. Okay, this is the link. You can just check it out. Prajwal, you're welcome. Okay. Avinash says, can you please explain attempts for 2 minutes, going around 50 attempts, but correct around 45? Yeah, Avinash, you need to, kind of just look at a question, and if you get the hang of it within 10 seconds, solve it. Otherwise, just move over it. That is the only strategy for Snap. 10 seconds to decide whether I have to do it or not. In this way, you can go around, more than in 50s. St- Pratmesh, that is highly competitive. No doubt about that. Okay, this link of the WhatsApp group, let me just send it over there. Hmm. Yeah, here it is. Okay then. So I think that will be all. Avinash, is that clear? And also, I have attached the WhatsApp group here. So if anybody wants to, kind of come in contact, you can just join this group. I pinned the message over there. ठीक है कुछ भी ऐसा पूछना हो कुछ मैसेज भेजना हो तो मैं रात में अराउंड कुछ देर बाद एग्जाम कल सुबह 2 बजे है ना मैं कल सुबह या एक बार बीच में ना ग्रुप को मैं ओपन कर दूंगा टू टॉक एंड यू गाइस कैन इफ देयर इज एनीथिंग यू कैन जस्ट आस्क मी आउट ऑलराइट देन टेक केयर बाय बाय ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर स्नैप